Welcome, and everybody. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to another episode of Heavy Metallurgy. It is number 262. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Marty. It's good to see you. Joined once again by Alan. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Kind of starting to settle into the summer schedule here just a little bit, which is nice. And got a lot to do this summer. It'll be a busy one, but should be fun and enjoyable along the way as well. Hello to everybody watching. Lots of regulars signing in here for the show. Hope everyone's had a good week. I have also spent some time earlier today packing up and mailing out some VCLT. So a couple of y'all out there will have some boxes showing up in your mail hopefully next week. So hope folks enjoy the things I have mailed out.
Sweet. And we are joined once again by New Jersey's finest, Mr. George G. from George G's Room of Rock.
It is.
How you doing, man?
Thank you. Doing good. Just living the dream.
Great. Well, you put yourself in a bit of hot water here last Friday in the chat. What did you do?
I told me what I asked you guys is what album you like from a band you really don't care for too much or don't like other albums, but you like one album by them. What is that album and why?
Yep.
That's what.
Yep.
Basically, what it is.
And basically, that's what it is, and it evolved a little bit. Alan, why don't you, as I was calling about 10 minutes before showtime, saying, I think I screwed up. What do we, how did we work this so it's a little bit more all-inclusive?
Oh, yeah, no. It was, as soon as we saw the question from George last week, like, that's a question that actually could be an entire episode. We would just need some time to think about it. So we got in touch with George right away and started thinking about it. But yeah, some things we do want to stress with this topic where it says, where bands where we only like one album. First off, we are not saying that every other album the band does sucks or is horrible or we hate it. Not saying that at all. It's more the approach of like the band made, this one album is the one we feel you really have to have. They may have made other albums that were, decent, but then they made this one really good album. It could also be cases where maybe a band made 10 albums and you've only heard maybe half the catalog. You've only found one that you like so far, but there may be parts of the catalog you don't know as well. You can say like, I only like this one, but I'd maybe, missed several albums as well. That's something we are trying to avoid here in terms of cheating. We're not picking bands that only made one album because that would be kind of lame. So not doing that. But yeah, I mean, there are bands you connect with and you want to hear all the stuff they ever made. There are other bands where you check out a bunch of albums and it's like, well, there's this one album I connect with for some reason. And all the others I've heard just either you don't like them or they're average or they're decent, but they're like a distant second place to that one album that you really latch onto. So that's kind of how we're approaching this. So yeah, once again, we are not going to say that this album rules and the rest of the catalog is crap. Maybe there's a couple of bands that applies to, but I don't think I really had many in my stack that played out that way. We're just saying like, this is the album for me. This is the one I know and love. The rest of them haven't gotten there with.
Yeah.
So that is the idea. Should be a fun topic.
Awesome. Yeah, should be a fun topic. And for those of you who have not checked out George's channel, George G's Room of Rock, go check out the link in the description. George also partakes in the Metal Roundtable, which it's Metal Rob. Was that the guy that started it? And,
yeah, that's who started it.
I think it's over. Is it its own channel or is it over on Metal Rob's channel? I don't remember
It's on What's so Metal? So Scott Waters' channel. That's where they.
Okay, it's on Scott's channel, right?
Yeah.
And when do they? I can never remember. Is it Tuesday at like 6 or?
Tuesday at 6. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, go check that out as well. Fun show, nice weekly live show to partake in as well. Mm-hmm. George is on there, not every time, but he's on there often. So it's you get your fill of Mr. G over there as well. So go check out the link in the description and go give George a subscribe over on his channel, please. But
sure.
I've got about 20. Oh, one more disclaimer before we get going. The Panopticon records came on, what is today? Friday. Came late Tuesday. orders started going out yesterday. So everybody, patience, it's coming. Thank you for your patience. So, but all of that aside, George, why don't you fire this off? I got about 20 to pull from here. So see what you got going.
Quite a few. Okay. The first one here, actually, I'm gonna since Alan did a cheat when he did mine, pick it 2 albums. I'm gonna do it the only time. And so I only like the first 2 albums from this band, and I've tried the other 3, 4, and 5 because I know they're classics in the genre, but Dark Throne. I only like these 2, and I don't know. I tried, the other 3, 3 after this, and I guess I know it's production because I know the production a little more raw after this one, but again, this one's the death metal one. This one still has a little bit of tinge of that death metal feel to it, and a little more, I guess, a little bit better produced than what they would do later. I know it's supposed to be like raw because that's the black metal thing, but it's only 2. I don't know. I kick it. If I try the other ones and try, what am I missing? What am I missing? But these are the 2 I just like the most. So, I mean, it's weird. I know that I mean, I don't know about that. You guys talk about their later albums, but like I'm not familiar with those because some people. I mean, you guys said some not like nice things, not nice bad things. These, did you hear the new album? I don't know how that is either. Is that any good, or did you just do it all?
Yep, been through it 1.5 times, and it is what they've been been doing. It's a slight improvement over the last couple, but that's not saying a lot. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I know they're such a important band in the genre. And I think it's sometimes, I guess they get lost if they try different things. I mean, I think the one thing I thought was pretty funny when they had that one album with the guys on the ice with the ice skates on. I was like, what is that?
Dark Throne on Ice.
That is the oddest freaking album cover for a black metal band.
Yeah, and
they approved that too.
And they're not really a black metal band anymore. So that all the illusions of that ship has sailed long ago.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a hot topic of discussion on the Discord server actually here the last couple days. So, and speaking of the Discord server, I was supposed to make mention too. Link in the description for the Discord server. Next Friday is the 22nd, and that is wear your Emperor shirt to the Discord server day. So we have a thing every Friday. We take pictures of what shirt you're wearing. It's just a Friday tradition over on our Discord server, and next Friday is Emperor shirt day. So there you go. There you go, everybody. I remembered. So
nice.
Good start, George. Yeah. You can try the later era ones. They're a lot less black metal and a little bit more. They had a slight crust punky phase, and now they're kind of in this weird. He's more into being excited about citing what bands influenced which riffs than the riffs, which is lame because you listen to the riff and you can't hear that band. All you can hear is boring Dark Throne and ripping off Celtic Frost, and still, I don't know. It's a whole topic of discussion, which we will address, I think, on our new release roundup. I think that's one of the polls on the next one, isn't it, Alan?
Could be. We haven't decided on the list though, but yeah, it's been in the pot as a possibility. So, hey, Nagelfar, thank you very much.
Thanks, Nagelfar. Appreciate you. Leatherwolf self-titled debut.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Classic that I gave a 10/10. The release after that went weak to okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way about Leatherwolf.
Cool. That first one, I like Street Ready, so that was the one that got me into. That's more hair metalish the Street Ready album, but it's
pretty aggressive though. I just recently got that on vinyl for like $12, and surprisingly decent. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. Ooh, Jay, this is a good one.
Which one, Marty?
J Trust, Assassin, The Upcoming Terror. I mean, that is a great album, and the one after it, and then they've continued to keep going, and I haven't cared after that second one.
Yep. Yeah, and this is a good pick from Goldie, Tyson Dogs. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Good one, George. Good get started on. And Alan, where are you at?
All right. This one kind of surprised me. I'd never really thought of the band in the context of I only like one album, but I realized I only own one. And when I thought about it, I really don't want to own any of the others, so I think they qualify. Motley Crue with Shout at the Devil. Again, Motley Crue's got other albums I don't mind, and they have plenty of songs I like, but those songs are scattered over all the other albums. There's a couple of good tracks on Too Fast for Love, and a couple of good tracks on Girls, Girls, Girls. there's some stuff on Dr. Feelgood I don't mind, but I don't like any of those albums enough that I own them. Whenever I want to hear Motley Crue, I go with Shout at the Devil. This is one of the older pressings that actually still had the pentagram on the cover. So there we go. This is kind of, the one moment where Crue was reasonably heavy, hadn't gone completely, home sweet home style just yet.
Yeah.
And Too Fast for Love, again, it's got some tracks on it I do like, but it's a very primitive album, of course. I mean, it's a very early release, not just for them, but in American heavy metal. So a lot of that album just doesn't quite get there for me. Besides the classic tracks, Livewire and Too Fast for Love. But yeah, this album's fantastic. Like most of the material on it, just fine. And after this, Theater of Pain, no, that's not the album for me. And like I said, after that, it's a couple of songs here, a couple of songs there. But yeah, Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue actually qualifies as a band where I really like this one album. Other albums are, range from album to average to just not something I'm interested in. Later Motley Crue, I've got no interest in at all. So that was my first pick. And like I said, I had never thought of Motley Crue that way before, but they fit the bill. So I'm starting with Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with a band that I used to just absolutely dread. I've kind of turned around on it a little bit. And out of the handful I've heard, the debut Danzig is really... The one after this, Lucifuge, is really good too. But I think out of the three that I own, this is the one I go back to. And again, I don't even own any Misfits, which every time I come across it in the store, it's always just a bit more money than I want to invest in checking it out. You know what I mean? So, I found a $8-9 Danzig used in a bin, and I've enjoyed this record, and really this has got a lot of great songs on it. So even though it's very simplistic, very stripped down, the way it's produced is very, it sounds like a band jamming, which is cool, but it's just a very strange sounding album for this. Was it the 90s? This is the 90s. Yeah. No, this is 80.
No, that one's 88.
88. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have a big, huge the
Nope.
music and the singer. They put their singer in the front. Obviously, it's named after him. So the riffs are kind of secondary to his showboating a bit. And, I like it. I've come around on it. I can respect it. And we'll see how the other ones pan out for me. But Lucifuge, like I said, is good. Is probably a lot of ways better. But, Mother, Twist a Cane... I Am Demon, Am I Demon? There's some good songs on here that stand out, and if I only had one Danzig record, it'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what, the thing with if you're looking for I love the Misfits, so the early stuff. So if you're looking for a vinyl and it's expensive, the album's only like 15-20 minutes long. But the songs are like a minute 30, and it's like totally ridiculous. I saw them live with Michael Graves back in the 90s, and they must have did 22 songs in 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's just totally ridiculous. I'm like, but that's how short their songs are. So if you're looking for, paying too much money for an album 15 minutes long, it's kind of, ridiculous.
Yeah. And I know that there are some that are shit. I'm actually a little bit more interested in checking out the Samhain or the Sam Hain albums, and those never turn up either. I mean, I've never seen one sitting in a shop ever.
Yeah.
And when maybe if they do, they're
pricey.
But, yeah, it's so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. You've never heard November Coming Fire, Marty?
No.
Really?
Okay. I think
Infinitum.
What's the other one? Infinitum. Initium. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I checked out part of that one night when I was taking a shower, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I was scrubbing my ass. So.
there's a visual for you.
Yep. Got to get right in there. Okay, George.
Okay. This one is it's not a metal band, but I'll explain in a second. And I have a best of and I have a live album. But this is the only album I've listened to that I really like. The other one's just okay. Even though it's not a metal album, he did win a metal award. Jethro Tull's Aqualung.
Yeah.
So this is the only one I can tell. Every song in it, I think, is just really, really good. The whole thing is excellent. It's got Cross-Eyed Mary on it, of course, Aqualung, Locomotive Breath, all like they're really good songs. But I tried like all the other ones, Too Old to Rock and Roll, and I'm like, it's okay. Not that they suck or anything, but the whole the famous songs I know, then the other ones I'm just like, so it's okay. This doesn't do anything for me. And he's got a lot of albums out, So I don't know. He just wasn't the whole thing. Just it's okay. I got me in the mood for it, but like the Aqua is really good. The other ones are just they're just okay. I know they're cheap to say the early ones are more like folky. That's not my style. So, but you never know. It could click one day. There's so many times I've listened to bands I didn't get into them, and then all of a sudden I'm listening to them. Like for example, DSO. I never listened to them. Then all of a sudden it clicked, and I started listening to them. Mm-hmm. And I got every album except one. And not that every album's like stellar, but their early stuff's really good. So
always gotta give them a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, you just never know when it's gonna. All of a sudden, it's gonna hit you. Oh, that's pretty good. You just never know.
That's an album I own on CD. I think Zoller got it for me, and I still haven't listened to it yet. I know the hit, obviously, but yeah, I've been meaning to check it out. Just haven't got there yet. Maybe tonight after the show, I will listen to Aqualung. We shall see. Maybe we'll see. I'm not promising anything.
Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, they're a band I've never really investigated much either.
I know TJ loves them.
He was a member for a hot minute.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see. Well, this one's inspired by the super chat a minute ago from Nagelfar Vitra. It's Nagelfar's Vitra.
Yeah.
This is the Swedish Nagelfar, not the German one. Just to make sure everyone's clear about that. This is their debut, which is a great album. Really strong black metal, great melodic sense to it, really fast songs. I remember someone back in the day tried describing this as like a Halloween if they were a Swedish black metal band, which I'm not sure I agree with that, but I liked the effort on their part. But fantastic album. Got a little exposure around this time because one of the songs here is featured on the Blackened Volume 2 compilation, and that Blackened CD series was one that helped a lot of people start checking out black metal kind of in the mid to late 90s.
The first two are really good. The first one in particular is an excellent snapshot.
Yeah, the first two collections are really good. I never heard any of the later volumes, so I don't know how they were. I'm trying to see, which song was it that was on Volume 1?
I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Enslave the Astral Fortress is the track that was on the Blackened series. But so I've always loved this album. Tracked it down as soon as I heard it. Heard that song on the Blackened compilation, and I've heard some of the others by this band. And again, they just kind of vary. Like the second album, Diabolical, has a couple of good tracks on it, but most of that album never stuck with me. They made one called Sheol, Sheol. And it was another one, like I played it a few times. There's just nothing that connects here. It wasn't that it was awful. It just, it failed to stand out in any way. So I haven't found any other Nagelfar album that really went. Lisa's Pariah is my favorite black metal album. Okay, now Pariah is one I have not heard out of their catalog. So this is a case where I don't know every album they've made. They've got a handful out there. Maybe Pariah is one I need to check out. Vitra's a classic. I mean, Vitra's like a 9 out of 10 kind of album for me. And the other ones I've heard have all been more like 5 or 6 out of 10 type albums. So again, it's not that they suck, but they just don't measure up to this one. And to date, this is the only one I have felt the need to own. So Nagelfar's Vitra is my second pick here for albums where I really only feel like I like the one album. But I'll keep Pariah in mind, Lee. If I have a chance, I'll check that one out sometime.
All right.
I'll look it up right now so I know what it looks like.
Well, this might get a little bit of talk back, but this really, for me, is the only DRI you need. Dealing with it, this album is great. This is kind of a crossover end boss in a lot of ways, even though I think the Accused beats them out at their own game. The early stuff is more grindy and shorter songs. It's cool. And Four of a Kind is another one I like. Thrash Zone has its moments, but this band, as they went, got worse and worse and more boring. Once they started to embrace pretty much just the thrash aspect. Their take on the genre was very crunchy, palm muted riffs, very boring. And this here, I love the I can't remember the Josh, was that his name? The bass player. He played a Rickenbacker, and it cuts through so well on this stuff. The songs, there's 37 songs on here. This is a Beer City Records reissue, so there might be some bonus tracks. But the songs are nicely varied. They're all short, but some of them are slower and heavy. Some of them are just fast, hardcore inspired burners. Kurt Brecht, you know, the songs don't go on so long that his rhymey lyric schemes bother me on here. Whereas on the album after it, Crossover, oh boy, I hated the rhymes. They were so obvious. And the Crossover, they started to slow down a little bit. And like even on Thrash Zone, and it's just, some of the songs are so boring. They're so predictable. But yeah, this here is the perfect mix of thrash and hardcore, and I like the more hardcore side of this, but the songs are a little bit longer, other than, you know, their debut in the 7-inch, the Violent Pacification. It's just, you know, little blips. The songs are blips on the map, where these here, they're more substantial. Couch Slouch, Nursing Home Blues, God Is Broke. There's just tons. In Soup Kitchen, Rather Be Sleeping, banger after banger. Great album. And I like Four of a Kind. I think that might be the last album of theirs that I care about, but even that, I don't listen to it ever. It's this. I want DRI. I'm picking up, dealing with it. So that's that for me.
You have disillusioned a few of our metallurgists in the live chat, in case you missed it.
It won't be the first or the last time. I'm sorry, folks. All right. George.
Okay. Now this one here, maybe people will think I'm nuts with this one, but the band's first EP and the first album are good. I just don't find anything after this one I'm going to show you that just don't interest me as much, and that's Morgoth, Cursed.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely love this one. This is perfect to me. It's one of the best albums I've ever heard with death metal, and I just absolutely love it.
It's a great album.
But the one after it, what is it?
Odium.
Yeah, that one didn't do anything for me. And I do have the one after that, the one that shouldn't have the Morgoth name on it. Feel sorry for the fanatic.
I like that record too, but it's killing.
It's not
joke.
a bit. It's not.
Killing
Yeah,
Joke
it's not.
Worship.
It's not. That's not Morgoth at all. I just don't know why they kept the name. But
yeah,
and I think that's then they just broke up for that one. After that one, put one out a couple years ago. I didn't hear that one yet. So
yep, me either.
But this is the one I go to. This is the one I really like the most, and I'll go to this every time. The first two I don't really go for those, even though they're not bad at all. So I want to think I'm nuts, but this one is just perfect. It just sounds great. The production's great. The songs are great.
Yep.
I love it. So people might think I'm nuts for that one. I don't know.
Mark Riva's voice is killer. What a killer death vocalist. So good.
Yeah.
Good pick. Alan.
It's exactly one more Morgoth album than I would pick.
Oh, no.
If I want to hear clowns and heavy metal, I'll listen to Dangerous Toys and think about that.
Hey, now
the Eternal Fall, Resurrection, Absurd. Is that the name of it? Their first two EPs put together in one album.
Yeah,
it's great, super great. First album is killer, so good.
Let's see.
Even though it's
Marty,
a collection.
I'll take some of the heat off you, Marty, for your last pick, because folks like this band a lot, and I like exactly one album by this band, Reverend Bazaar. Crush the Insects, cool album. The rest of their catalog I find very boring. Is just what it comes down to.
I agree. That's what I like too.
Okay, cool. I am not alone in this tiny boat. That's good to know.
I don't even know why I like this band as much as I do, knowing my thoughts on Doom mostly. Especially
it always
that style.
Does surprise me. Yep.
There's like a Finnish humor.
The slowest one.
Yeah, the Finnish humor in that band is a charm for some reason.
I guess. And see, to me, Doom and humor cancel each other out a lot of times. So it's
you better throw that Cathedral collection you picked up in the trash then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm noticing the Cathedral has some issues with that, but with Cathedral, there's enough of that stoner, trippy psyche thing that I don't mind the humor coming from that direction.
Yeah.
I mind it when the song is like 19 minutes long, has 3 riffs, and they're trying to like chortle in the background.
Yeah.
That's a thing for me. But I mean, the big thing with Crush the Insects is especially the A side, the tracks are shorter and a little more, at least mid tempo. They're not up tempo. It's still doom, but yeah, they like compact the songs, write a song, pick up the pace a little bit. It's like, damn, that's actually a really good, heavy, banging track. The other albums, I've listened to both albums. I've listened to a lot of the EPs and collections. I mean, I have tried with Reverend Bizarre a lot. I've gone through a lot of their catalog. And most of it's just, it's just too slow and sometimes gets a little too, like you said, Mario, a little too tongue-in-cheek, which just for me and for this band, that combination doesn't work. But I've always kept this one and dust it off every now and then, give it a spin, and holds up quite well. The A side here is definitely my favorite material by the band. So Reverend Bizarre 2, Crush the Insects.
It's a good album.
What was the one before that one? Because I have 2 of them my friend gave to me. That one I really liked, but the one before that, I can't remember the name of it. But that's a slog to get through.
What, In the Rectory of the Bizarre Reverend or something? It's got a long title.
Like that.
It's something like that.
It's a bit of a slog. And they got some decent tracks, but it's kind of long. It's kind of like, okay, I wasn't paying attention to it. Then then I'm paying attention to it. So
yeah, like I saw that one in a used bin recently. It's just like, I could give it another chance. I could just leave that there and let somebody else enjoy it. Maybe I should just do that. So I did not regret avoiding that purchase. All right, Marty. People can yell at me about Reverend Bizarre while you take another spin here.
Again, I agree with you, but I still don't know why I like that band. I don't have all their stuff, but I got a good chunk of them, and I like them for some reason. They're a little bit different.
And that's cool that you found a doom band that you latched onto there.
Yeah,
quite all right.
It's weird. All right. Well, this is a band that had quite a following going into their debut album. Their demo sold a shit ton of copies. Svartalfheim by Ancient. As far as I'm concerned, this is the only album you need by this band. The Canian Chronicle, which came out after this, a lot more produced, a little bit more trying to gear themselves for a wider audience, trying to dip into the Cradle of Filth.
Very much so.
The Cradle of Filth crowd rather than the Norwegian black metal crowd, which this I think perfectly upholds. The drummer Grim, I think was his name. I can't remember, but the drummer sang on this. I think that's him on the cover, Breathing Fire. He just had a perfect Norwegian black metal style vocal technique where Lord Kaifus, who they replaced him with on vocals, was the vampire Danny Filth mix between the old school and the new school. And I don't know. Canian Chronicle has its moments. It was produced by Dan Swano. That, so it's a nice uniform cohesive sound, but this is just raw and the songs are really catchy. They're dark when they need to be dark. They mix in the acoustic guitar right at the right time. And I like the transitions within the songs. I think they are quite good at building up tension when they need to. And I don't know, this is just an awesome snapshot of, early, this came out in 94. So early-ish Norwegian black metal that was hot. It was hot at the time, but now you just don't really ever hear anybody talk about this band. So it's weird. It's weird how they kind of fall, even though they're back together and, playing shows, and they may be putting out records, but they've put out stuff, and I had a handful of them. Some were just downright stupid. Bad, really bad. Mad Grandiose Blood Fiends, I think, was one of them, where they're all sitting at the table.
That's the one after Canian Chronicle.
Oh, God, it was
too good.
So stupid, but it makes you almost, you hear how bad they got, it makes you almost want to hate where they came from, but I stood firm in my appreciation for this and the Troll Tar EP and the demo, the Early Howling Winds demo. It's good shit. It's good Norwegian black metal.
Yeah, they dug a pretty deep hole for themselves to ever climb back out of. And Canian Chronicle, for what it is, isn't bad. If you just want something in that Cradle Dimmu Borgir style, you can do worse than Canian Chronicle. But let's face it, a lot of folks don't really want a whole lot in that style. So
nope. And they tried to go up, they just didn't. Cradle of Filth somehow, well, they sold their image with boobs, bloody boobs, and lesbian vampires, let's be honest. And
which again, Canian Chronicle, I mean, it's a concept album about vampires. It plays off the whole Vampire the Masquerade thing. It has Kimberly Goss involved, and she can be kind of polarizing to a lot of folks. So, yeah, it's got strikes against it.
Many strikes. All right, George, you're back.
Okay, this one is a new wave of British heavy metal band that I only had the first album, and yet they had more albums than I even thought they had after this. But they never did anything. And they're really good. They're a good band. They're talented, but this is the only one I need. The first Praying Mantis album. I mean, they were that lumped in the new wave of British metal, but they really aren't very heavy at all.
No,
kind of like Demon. They looked heavy, but they're not. And the Demon album's really good too, the first two. But this one is really good. It's just not what I expected, but I enjoy it. Not heavy at all, but song structure is very good. The singer's good, and they just do a good job. And it's a really good album. But after that, nothing really clicked with me. So, and I didn't know they're still putting out albums to this day, and they still are. So I don't know what you guys think of it. If you have heard the other ones after this,
never heard it,
Alan.
I've heard some.
I've
heard some stuff here and there, but I kind of agree with you, George. Like that album, and there's a single, but it's actually got two singles in it. It's like a double pack single that came out around that same era. It's kind of peak Praying Mantis. And they just keep hanging around and putting stuff out, and you're right, it just never does anything to catch my attention. So, and you're also right. Yeah, they very much lean towards kind of a hard rock sound even back then. But that one's cool. Yeah, I've actually got that album framed right here above my desk because I always love the cover art on that one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yep.
That's what sold the album, probably, that cover art.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Alan.
All right, so I will jump to a new wave of British heavy metal one too, inspired by George's pick. Diamond Head, Lightning to the Nations, one of the most important albums of that era and one of the greatest albums of that era. And the band never really did another great album. The second album is certainly not bad, but the problem is it recycles a lot of songs from this one. Yeah, they're better produced, they're cleaned up and redone because it's like 3 years later and done on MCA, but there's not a lot of new material on that sophomore album. So it's one that I never felt was really necessary to own. And then the third album, Canterbury, goes in a completely different direction. They're kind of following their inner folksy Led Zeppelin wannabe child, which was a thing for them. And they're another band that's hung around. They've gotten back together various times with various lineups and put out more albums, kind of like Praying Mantis that George was just talking about. Yeah, and I've listened to some of it here and some of it there, and it's not like it's awful, but I never feel the need to like run out and buy any of them after I listen. It's like, okay, well, Diamond Head put out another album, good for them. So this is a case where, the band made a 10 out of 10 type of A+, hugely important album and never could follow it up. A big part of the problem with Diamond Head was it took them too long to follow it up. There's a 3-year gap between Lightning and I'm even drawing a blank. What's the second one called? Time Tells No Lies? No, that was the Praying Mantis one we just talked about.
Borrowed Time.
Living on Borrowed Time. Thank you, George. Yeah. It's got great fantasy cover art and a bunch of songs that you had already heard. But it took them 3 years to get that record deal with MCA and get it recorded. They had a weird management structure where some family members were trying to manage them. And they've admitted in hindsight, they're like, they really meant well, but they didn't have experience managing a band. We held out way too long looking for the perfect deal. And, by the time we got around to making the second album, the whole movement was almost over. So, but yeah, without Diamond Head and without Lightning to the Nations, heavy metal as we know it wouldn't exist. Without this album and this band, Lars may never come back to Los Angeles after vacation and get serious about Metallica. And imagine all the dominoes that knocks down if Metallica just kind of ended up folding and Lars went back to playing tennis or something. Following Diamond Head around on tour, them being really nice to him, taking him under their wing, showing him the ropes, that got his but kicked into overdrive to make Metallica happen. So, yeah, one of those bands that, hugely important and made this one amazing album. And they had other good songs early too. They're just spread out over 7-inch singles and EPs and stuff. But the rest of the albums you don't need. You need exactly one Diamond Head album, and it's called Returning to the Nations.
You see, I like the Canterbury album. It's a weird album, but that's a weird thing. I was watching one of those documentaries on not on them, but on the whole movement, and they said that the managers for Foreigner wanted to sign them and manage them, and they said, no, we'll stick with the family. Probably the biggest mistake they ever made, because back then it was Foreigner 4 was out. That was huge, Foreigner 4.
Yep.
And if they had stuck with them, it could have been a whole different thing where they could have gone in what direction they would have went in. So
it could have been.
They made bad decisions. Young bands make bad decisions.
All the time. Yep. Of course, you never even know. Like, they could have signed on with the Foreigner crowd, but if they were funneling all their resources towards Foreigner and just never really gave Diamond Head the time of day, it might not have ended any different. Yeah, it's one of those great what if questions. It definitely, I think you're right. It feels like they should have taken the deal, but it could have backfired. You never know.
Yeah.
And there is no such thing as the perfect deal. And especially a young band during a time where the scene was happening fast, and that new wave of British heavy metal, other than, a few of the landmark bands like Maiden and Priest, it fizzled out quick. So if you don't strike, even if you take a shitty deal, at least your stuff is getting out there during the formative years. If not, you end up like Diamond Head. I think I have one of their CDs, the red one with the castle on the cover.
Yep, that's the second one, Living on Borrowed Time, which again has some good songs on it. If you had never heard Lightning to the Nations or anything else by the band, you'd probably like that album. Be like, wow, there's some good stuff on here. And there is. It's just, I don't remember the exact breakdown, but it's something like 4 out of the 7 songs had already been released at least once, if not twice. So the band really just didn't have much new material.
Yeah. All right. Well, people, I think Living Dead Wax brought it up, but Moonspell was in my stack. And this one here, Wolfheart, is out of the ones I've heard.
Some other good religious, but Wolfheart's what I would pick too.
Yeah, this is the most. You got werewolf, vampire themes here too. These guys were from Portugal, and Marco's singing. He's still doing the little bit more traditional black metal style singing on this. He does switch in and out of cleaner vocals. The gothic. There's a gothic sense to this black metal, and as this band went on, his voice got way too Count Chocula for my taste. It's a lot too blah, 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 blah type shit.
Oh, it was already that way on Moonspell.
It was that way here too, but he did temper it with a little bit of the aggression in the vocals. And the song, the second to the last song on here, Alma Mater, great song. And it has always kind of adhered me to this one. There was an EP that came out before this. It was okay. But yeah, man. For me, Moonspell, this is the only one I really give a shit about. It's the only one I have an actual copy of. I do have Irreligious too. I don't know. I had a handful of the promos. They all got thrown away when they got doused with water. So anyway, Moonspell, Wolfheart.
Yeah. Ancient will sing about the vampires, but we shall sing about the moon at the night when we turn into the wolf.
Yep.
He really sings like that. I'm not being.
Yeah,
I mean, I am being funny, but that is how he sounds.
Total Count Chocula vocals.
So yeah, and with the Portuguese accent added on top of it, it's a treat. It's a thing.
It's like an Anne Rice novel. Count Chocula reading an Anne Rice novel.
Oh, there's an image I didn't want to have in my head. Yeah. Now I've got like this weird sort of homoerotic Frankenberry meets Blueberry, which
I could get behind reading that. I'm sure that would be somewhat decent anyway.
Frankenberry walked towards Blueberry with intention in his eyes. Okay, let's stop this now or we'll get demonetized forever.
All right.
Okay. This one is again a classic, but it's the only one I like from him. That's At the Gates. Sort of so
interesting.
It's the only one I could get into. I know we lost the singer this year, Thomas, and that's sad too. But this is the one I can get behind. I mean, I don't know how many albums they have out. I tried some of them and just didn't do anything for me. This one did. I really liked it a lot. So it's just one of those. It's got a weird, different sound that I'm used to. For someone definitely a little more, but I don't know, I guess, industrial tinge to them a little bit, but it's good. But the other ones just, I don't know, just something about them. I heard the first one's really good, and there's a couple of people always recommend, but it's like, it's okay. But
It's weird.
This one's an excellent one. Yeah, it's a really good one. That one, though. I know that's the one people always go to is that one. That's one they always show. I always show all the time. So,
yep, I'm with you. I almost picked them too. I had that in my hand, but I really, really like the new one. I bought the new one, and I've listened to it a lot. I think it's really well written. It could have been the follow up to that one. So it didn't make my list, but I understand you picking it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, different people like different parts of that catalog. Like Tycho just said, like he likes it, like the really early stuff, the first two albums and the EP by that band. A lot of folks swear by that stuff that Alf was involved with, and they're not as keen after he leaves the band. Yeah, I've slowly warmed up to the early stuff over time. It's like Marty said, it's a little complicated. It's not the easiest stuff to wrap your head around, and I've always struggled with it a bit, but I do keep trying. But yeah, Slaughter the Soul is an album that some people really don't like. They've kind of gotten fed up with over time. So yeah, that album can be controversial too.
Elf, he had early on, he would record a riff and then flip it backwards and try to learn the riff backwards. And you can hear some of the riffs he comes up with on that early material, and it sounds like inverted riffs. It's really strange. Mm-hmm. I think it's super clever and cool and so unique, but I always had a hard time breaking through to really fully liking it. You know, I liked it, but I never loved it like I did with Slaughter. Slaughter was like instant, catchy, hard-hitting, well done.
Yeah, like, here, Simon, Alf was genius, and other folks are like, Alf, I don't get what he was doing.
I think he's a genius as well, but sometimes super, genius that don't always make things that are easily accessible. Not that I need that, but in this instance, I did. It didn't click with me.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. I haven't heard of this. Tycho says he also did a volume knob swell thing similar to what Robert Fripp does. Okay. Yeah, Fripp's another one who's obviously a genius, and I have a hard time following a lot of King Crimson material.
Yeah.
Wish I could, but I'm just not. As a non-musician, I feel like I'm way over my head with a lot of King Crimson.
I feel like I'm missing out with them too, man. I don't feel alone in this. I
love the debut album. That one I can get. That one I can fathom. But by the time you get to like Lark's Tongue and stuff, I really do feel like I'll just put on the pointy hat and go sit in the corner while everybody else geeks out about all these time signatures and stuff.
I think Zoller sent me a copy of Red, I think it's called.
That's a very popular one from that era. Yep.
And I listened to it and I thought it was cool, but I just don't know where it's going to fit into my listening ever. I don't know where to file it. And like you said, I don't often feel smart enough to listen to that stuff. All right, Alan.
All right. And see, Frank, we just did a couple of new wave of British heavy metal ones too. Hope you didn't miss those while you're out, but you can always catch it on the replay. Let's see. This one is a goofy pick, but definitely applies. It is a Body Count with the debut album. This was kind of one of those fun high school albums for me. It's of course Ice-T's foray into heavy metal, thrash metal, which it works in spite of not working very well. This is not a good thrash album. I'm not sure it's a good heavy metal album, but it is a fun album nonetheless, and played it to death. After this, though, I think this was one of those things he should have just left it as a one-off and been like, okay, I did the heavy metal thing, had some fun with it, and now let's move on with other parts of my career. But he has gone back to Body Count repeatedly over time, and even the second album, I picked that up when it came out, just like, this isn't fun or funny or clever or goofy. This is just bad. And then, like, even in the past, I don't know if it was last year, maybe the year before, they had another album out, and they were playing a single from it on like Liquid Metal on Sirius XM. And it's just like, this just sucks. It's not good metal. It's not good Ice-T material. It's just really lame, like he's trying to be like some kind of heavy metal slasher character or something. I'm just like, huh? What the fuck? Just no. The thing that made this album work was that, again, it had some kind of the biting political insights and commentary, but it was also packaged in very humorous ways and kind of clever ways in some cases. And the later stuff doesn't, it seems, from what I've heard, just devoid of that. And it just ends up being, bad metal based music about, cutting people up. No, thank you. Not at least bit interested. I'll always keep this album. I will have plenty of fond memories of, driving around in high school with, a bunch of, immature teenage friends giggling every time they say, fuck or pussy or something, which they say a lot. But I wouldn't give you $1 for every other Body Count album combined. So this is a case where I really do feel like there's nothing else in the catalog that's worth bothering with.
That was in my spec too.
Oh, was it?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
So for the same reason, because I bought the second one too, and I was like, this isn't as good. And I was dumb enough to buy a third one. I'm like, that one's freaking awful. I'm like, no, that one just went in there. They gave it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want nothing to do with any of those later ones. Yeah. This is an interesting way to put it from Tycho. Yeah. It is the worst quality. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, so Body Count. Seems like several of us are on the same page there. Marty, what you got on your stack next?
This might irritate a few of the older heads, but Alice in Hell, Annihilator. I'm good here. I've got the one after this. They changed the singer. It isn't Randy Rampage on that one.
That's correct.
And it just feels like a completely different band. This here is straight up really thrashy. The other one feels like these albums are flipped. They should be flipped. Feels like the one that came after should have been first, and this should have came second to me.
Really?
But, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Again, I haven't listened to it as much as I have on this, and then over the years I've received promos for, this band has got a shit ton of records, and I've only heard a small handful of them.
Oh Lord, yeah, they've got like 17 albums or something.
It's ridiculous, and the ones I heard throughout the year. Another one is Exciter. After a certain point, Exciter got back together and it just put out shit that different vocalists, and who cares? This here, it feels kind of the same for me. Like I said, this is a very uneducated, because I gave up early with this band, but out of the handful I've heard, Alice in Hell is really the super tight guitar work, really well written thrash, and Randy Rampage was a good singer. So it was, covered this on the Album Club. Go check that out if you want to hear us talk about this album for a couple hours. But Annihilator, they were an early pick to my pile. And I do need to revisit Neverland. I have it. I just don't ever. This one's in the way. I want to listen to this one. So it's.
Now, if you don't like Neverland, I get it. A lot of folks, I think, would agree with you. That one's much better. I don't know if I would say they should be flipped though, because Neverland to me feels like more of a kind of a cleaned up, tighter, polished album compared to that one, which is what I would expect a band to do around that era, is to get things a little more cleaned up. So I think Neverland would be. I think it would be weird if they had Neverland first and then did the kind of more thrashy Alice in Hell afterwards. I don't know. Never thought of it
because
it
felt like this is a really good thrash record, and then they go with an album that is less thrash.
Well, yeah, which a lot of thrash bands were kind of doing there around the turn of the decade. So I think it would have been weird for them to have gotten more thrash on the second album, but I don't know. Maybe that's me.
I need to revisit it.
His Randy Rampage voice is good for what he's doing, but it's also a one note kind of singing, because when Cobra 4 comes in the second album, he goes different levels. So he gets low and he's high, and it's just a total different dynamic to the album. So maybe that's what people liked about it. But I love both those albums too, though.
Yep. You're Frank. Poor Frank.
Poor Frank. Yeah. Frank, to be clear, the whole concept tonight is we're not saying all the other material by bands, is terrible or anything. We're just saying there's one album that is a must-have and the others aren't. And I don't need any Diamond Head After Lightning, really. Sorry. Love you, Frank.
All right, George.
Well, I'm not going to say that on the other albums after this one, but this is the only one I have, and the other ones I just haven't really dug into enough or just get into it. And that's Udo's first one, Animal House.
That's a good album. I like that album.
I think it's because it's all written by Accept.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. I mean, Darcy's going to kill me for this one, but I know he loves Udo so much.
He's already pissed off about the Annihilator thing, so I'm shitting on his countrymen there, and yeah.
No, but because Udo's got a ton of albums. I wouldn't even know where to start to go. You know, I hear the songs here and there, they're good, but I'm like, for a full album, this one I really like. So, but he's got a shit ton of albums.
Mm-hmm.
He tried that whole orchestra one, which I heard that wasn't very. I can't say he's singing with an orchestra. That seems very odd. But just his voice doesn't seem to go with orchestra. But hey, you never know. But yeah, this one though is a must. I love this one though. So it sounds like an Accept album. Like it should have been. It should have been when it came out instead of Eat the Heat.
Yeah, that's not a great. That record doesn't suck, but it's weird. It's a weird change.
No, it doesn't suck. It's a weird one. Yeah,
but it's weird for Accept at that point in their career. It's not the album they needed right then.
Yeah.
All
right, Alan.
Let's see. What do I want to do next here? I'll do this one. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody talk about this band before, but they're perfect for this topic for me. Band called Shadow Gallery with an album. This is their debut. It's called Carved in Stone. They're a progressive metal band, one that kind of came along in the wake of Dream Theater's success. I mean, they were on the Magna Carta label, which right away gives you a good idea of what the heck they sounded like, if you're familiar with that label from back in the day. This album, it was a total blind buy for me. I had never heard the band. I had never even heard of the band. I was just standing in a record store and apparently had $15 extra I did not need. That looks interesting and it's on Magna Carta. I'll give it a chance. And it worked out pretty well. That was 30 years ago, and I still have the album. I don't play it often, but it held up pretty well. If you like 90s progressive metal, this one works great. The band did stick around and do some more albums, and I've heard at least two that followed this. There was an album called Tyranny. It's got like a brownish map on the cover with like a $sign with a snake, so making some kind of economic statement. I don't remember the one after that, but it's got a darker cover. And both of those albums just did not connect with me. They weren't bad, and they didn't really change style. They were still doing the same basic thing. But for whatever reason, those albums just kind of went in one ear and out the other. Whereas this one had a lot of catchy hooks so that it went in and found a place to kind of nestle in your brain and stay there. So yeah, Shadow Gallery's Carved in Stone, good debut album. Is it Dream Theater good? No. Let's not take it out of context. This is not an all-time classic album, but it is good in that style. It's a band, like I said, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone mention before. And they made at least a few albums. They were not a one and done type of band either. The other albums just did not sink in. Not bad, just not memorable. But Carved in Stone, their debut, that's an album I'll continue to stand by. So one album I like and some others that just didn't quite seem to connect. Anybody in the chat know Shadow Gallery?
Never heard of them.
This may be a Purple Smurf moment. I don't know.
When you mentioned them, what sort of my mind was I could have picked the second album, House of Lords, because that one's really good. And the other one's just okay. Now you did a video on that a while ago, I think, on House of Lords, their albums. But
yep, yeah, House of Lords.
The second album's really good.
Yes, it is. The Hera is a great album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like a ton of their stuff. But I admit, I'm a bit of a House of Lords fanboy. I can't defend it.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. I am up next, and
I'll catch up on comments while you show your next one, Marty.
Kill for Pleasure, Blood Feast. This is for me, I do like the Face Fade EP, but this is kind of a one and done band for me as far as full lengths go. After this, Chopping Block Blues band sucks. People have told me, oh, you need to listen to it this way or that way, or it's because of this or that. It's not good. Compared to this, it's not good. And they reunited. Reunited albums are okay. It's just not the same. It's not the same vibe. It's not the same feel. This is in a lot of ways proto-death thrash. But super cool songs, really heavy, crazy vocals. Yeah, they're an East Coast band that was on New Renaissance Records. It just didn't maybe get the love it needed, but
every band on New Renaissance, I think, has made that complaint.
Yeah, exactly. Except for maybe Hellion, but now they're making.
Gee, I wonder why.
Documentaries about Hellion, yeah, because Anne Boleyn was the lead lady to New Renaissance. But they're a good band. I have a morbid curiosity to revisit Chopping Block Blues. I see it reissues turn up every once in a while. I just don't want to pull the trigger. And another band I could throw in that category would be like Cryptic Slaughter. Their Speak Your Peace album. They changed. That's just it. And it wasn't a good change in my opinion. But Blood Feast, they're still doing thrashy type stuff. It's just not the same. It doesn't have the same charm, nostalgia attachment to it other than the name.
That's fine. I only have that first one you showed, and their new one, and it's very different because the vocals are totally different. He's 30-something years later, so vocals sound nothing like the first one. Because I bought the new one first, and I was like, oh, it's good. And I got the first one, oh, this is what he really sounds like, or sounded like. So it sounds like a different band.
Is it the same singer? Is it the same singer?
I believe it's the same singer, yeah.
Huh.
I don't think they changed the singer. Yeah. It's 30-something years later, and you're not going to sound the same. But
right on.
Anyway. All right. Now this one, if you have this album, you only need one album from this band because their other albums are about to say, and they're really for a talented band if they would just take themselves seriously. And that's Steel Panther. The Steel. If they were serious, they'd actually be good.
What a fun band to go see,
Yeah. But this album is so funny because it sounds like it's being serious, and then you hear the lyrics, I'm like, holy crap. I'm like,
yep.
It's not an album you play outside because the cops are going to be calling, what are you playing? What was that vulgar shit coming out of your house?
Yeah.
I think this came out in I don't know when did this come out? I'm trying to think of what my kids were. In 2009, my kid was 9. I couldn't play this in the house with people home. Because it was just like, holy crap. My wife was like, what did they have? Actually, it was on Sirius Radio. They played, what the hell was the song they played?
I do not know.
Well, the lyric was, my cock is community property. My wife's like, what did they just say? I said, that's what they said. My cock is community property. I'm like, I played it on Sirius Radio. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, did you hear the rest of the album? It's just totally freaking, there she blows. Fat girl, there she blows. It's funny shit.
Yep.
And their other albums are like that. So, but if they were serious and they wanted to do it, they're very talented. So, but even the singer was in LA Guns once for that little EP. But it's just hilarious. Yeah. So, but it's good. It's just that's what you need because all their albums are like the same damn thing, But yeah, I heard they're really good live though. That I have heard they're really good live.
All right. That's the only one of theirs I have, and I just set it up. I was trying to put some CDs away today, and I set it up there. I'm like, I still have yet to listen to this. Every time I see a live clip of them on YouTube, I watch it because they're fun. Even the live show, the Vakken, they're fun. They're so choreographed. Probably a lot of backing tracks too, but it's just their crowd interaction is hilarious. It's great. Ellen.
All right. Well, quick correction. Thanks to Enigmatic Tycho. The Shadow Gallery album's actually their sophomore album. I never knew they had a self-titled out before this. So yeah, looking at that over on Metal Archives right now. They made 6 albums, so they stuck around for a while. Yeah, I've never seen or heard of that debut. So Tycho, thanks for pointing that out. The Shadow Gallery is album number 2, not album number 1. Let's do this one next. This band's made several albums. I've only heard a few of them. This one's great, and I didn't care for any of the others. Lord Belial, Enter the Moonlight Gate. This was one of those albums that got licensed and got a little bit of U.S. distribution.
Yep.
Checked it out because it looked cool. Obviously kind of, very dissection-y Sacramento look on the back cover stuff. And yeah, this is a great album. They're kind of quote unquote thing was they use a flute on a few songs to good effect.
Said no one ever. Except for Jethro Tull, I should say, but yeah.
Yep. But yeah, this has always been a very, very strong black metal album. And I remember wanting to hear the follow-up a lot. I think it was called Unholy Crusade, but that one didn't get much U.S. distribution, so it was a real pain to find.
It wasn't as good as that one too.
And when I found, yes, it was one of those. It was a bad combination of it took me too long to track it down. It was one of those cases. By the time I finally tracked down a copy, I was like, finally. It's literally like a year after it had come out. So I was already kind of, a little pissed, just, trying to get it in the first place. And then, like you said, Marty, it's not nearly as good anyway. And I've heard one or two of the band's others. And again, there's nothing terrible I'm hearing, but I'm not hearing anything of the same caliber as Enter the Moonlight Gate. So maybe there's something in their catalog I have not heard, something I've overlooked. What's the debut called? I think I've also heard the debut. Is this
Kiss the Goat?
Kiss the Goat? Yeah, because it's kind of a purplish or pinkish cover.
Pink goat, yeah.
Color scheme. Yeah.
It's not even a goat, isn't it? Like a ram, like a mountain goat.
Well, might be, yeah. Goat, it's some kind of perissodactyl or artiodactyl.
That's what I was thinking too. Perissodactyl, yeah.
Definitely an artiodactyl. But
yeah.
But yeah, that one also. When I finally got that one, like tape trading, I was like, well, it's okay, but it's no Moonlight Gate. So I kind of just hit a dead end on Lord Belial albums. Enter the Moonlight Gate is a must. I haven't heard anything else in the catalog that really gets above average. Maybe someone in the chat knows a good one to recommend that I have not heard. But while I look for that, we'll let Marty take another turn.
All right. Going back to Norway, and might ruffle a few feathers again, but let's go with Asperia Heim Sofina by Arcturus.
Oh, that's controversial.
Is it?
Yeah.
The one after this was just too big top circus type stuff, and it just I liked the Chaos Path with Vortex singing on it. That was the only song on that record I really was impressed by. This album here, mostly rough vocals, harsh vocals by Garm. The songs there's a weird squashed sound to this production. It's kind of strange, but it accentuates the progginess of it, and the songs are not so wackadoodle that they're unlistenable to me. This feels still in league with the Norwegian black metal sound, just expanded a bit more. As they moved on, they got a little bit more highfalutin and smart. I do like Arcturian quite a bit. I think that's a really good album. I just haven't spent a lot of time with it. The album before it with Isan on it, I can't remember. There's some good songs. There's good songs throughout their catalog, but and if this is the only one that was out there, I would have been fine with that too. This is the one I find myself returning to whenever the fleeting mood hits to listen to Arcturus. That's the one. That's the one.
I think. Well, that's cool if that's oof. You don't the Sham Mirrors, man. The Sham Mirrors.
There's some good stuff on the Sham Mirrors. Yeah, it's not a bad record.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about La Masquerade. That one is got that kind of quirky, very avant-garde, maybe a little too much for its own good. But Sham Mirrors after that is that's a good album. That's a really good album.
Yep. Again, I don't hate. There's not a lot of hate in their catalog for me. I just this is the only one I ever find myself grabbing, so I had to go with that one. George.
All right, well, I'm going with City from Scrappy Young Lad.
Great fucking record.
Freaking great album, but everything else they don't have a whole lot of albums out. But the one before it, I thought it was sounded just like it. It was very disappointing with that one. I never go back to anything else where I listened to them. But this was just crazy good.
Alien's good. Orange is good.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of the stuff that Devin Downs. He's a very talented guy because a couple of solo albums are very good. I love the album he did with Steve Vai. But this is just like totally crazy, but it's excellent. The way it's just perfectly done. But the other ones just came really too much close with. It's just a little bit disappointed with the first one before this one. But this one's excellent. So this is a must-have. Not usually my style, that style of music, but this one was excellent. So just the other ones are just, I don't know why they don't click. You just never know. But this one definitely clicked a lot. So
another artist that I really can get behind certain parts of his catalog, but now as he's getting older, he's just really getting really far up his ass. Like this new Moth opera thing he's done. It's like, who is he making the music for other than himself? You know, just complete fanboys. I don't know, because he's going into realms. I mean, even the last couple albums, they're just getting really complex, and I'm going to bring in 3 different drummers for 3 different feels. I mean, he's like overthinking the process so much. It's just, he's a super smart dude, you know, and it's just, it can be, I think, his nemesis at times, but I don't know. Me making it right on, man. Cheers. Yeah. And like I said, endlessly talented, 100%.
Yeah. Devin's got a huge fan base out there, and I don't understand a single thing the man has ever recorded. It's just not, it goes so far above my head. I can't even pretend to get into any of it.
Yeah.
That's on me. I take full responsibility for that, but yeah, I can't. I just can't.
What were you saying, George?
It's another stratosphere.
Yeah. Yep, he is. So me and Alan are sharing the dunce corner tonight. We're going back and forth. Yeah. All right, man. What do you got?
All right. This band, I have not checked out a ton of stuff by this band. So this is one of those cases where, for whatever reason, I connected to this one album, but I've never felt the need to dig in. I have a feeling there probably wouldn't find much else that I like. But I do. I'm okay with Cattle Decapitation's Death Atlas.
It's a good album.
It's a pretty good album.
Yeah.
I
like his weird vocals in there. It's really good.
Vocal styles, good. The songwriting's kind of tight. I've never gotten the sense this was a band I needed to dig into very much, though. Obviously, they're known for multiple things, but they're multiple things that usually don't appeal to me. Like, just trying to play like, hyper fast. I'm not one of those people who's interested in like, who's the fastest, and but there's the super sick cover art, cow shitting out people and all. I'm just like, I'm not somebody who's interested in who's the grossest either. So there's there's all these political things about meat and veganism and meat and stuff. I'm just like, that's cool. I'm not necessarily looking for a ton of that in music either. So the things a lot of people gravitate towards Cattle Decap for are just not things that are that important to me. So yeah, never really paid much attention. But there was, a song on this one. What was it? Bring Back the Plague. Got a lot of airplay on Liquid Metal. It was on their Devil's Dozen countdown every day driving home from work. And it was actually a pretty decent song.
Yeah.
I heard it enough. It did stick with me. So when I found this in a used bin, I'm like, you know what? I will spend $8 and I will take a chance, and at least I'll be able to say I heard it if I don't like it. But I actually ended up liking it. So, I got no problem with this one. But like I said, I just haven't felt the need to give anything else a chance. I'm probably good with one Cattle Decapitation album, but maybe some of the others are equally as good as this. I can't say. This is one where I like this one album, but I'll admit it's the only one I've really paid attention to. And so that may be an unwise statement on my part. 5 years from now, I may be on here doing Cattle Decap deep dives. Don't know.
I only have the one before that one, the Anthropocene
Extinction.
Yeah, Anthropocene Extinction. That album is really good too. I think Death Atlas is better because he leans into those gothic vocal style a bit more, and it really works. He's really good at it. A very unique style.
Yep. So yeah, it works out. I don't know. I used to play before COVID. I used to play cards with a guy who was like beyond Cattle Decapitation fanboy. He wasn't obnoxious about it, but he had his jacket back patch artwork had been personally done by one of the members in Cattle Decap. I mean, this guy had been part of their street team, promotions and all that. Knew them all on a first name basis for years. And he went deep down that decapitated rabbit hole.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
But again, like I said, he wasn't obnoxious about it. He never turned me off of the band by proselytizing about them or anything. It just was always like, yep, there's the cattle decap guy, and I like one album by them.
I think I only know the new one. That's the only I've ever heard.
Yeah,
it's pretty good though.
I never checked that one out. Maybe it shows up for $8 in a used bin someday, and maybe we'll give it a spin. We'll find out. Time will tell.
Gotta love the used bins. Okay, here we go. Maybe this is an easy pick. I don't know. Longing for Death, which is called something different in Germany, by Atrocity, the second album. Hallucinations I like. It's just too complex and strange. This here, they, I think, adopted a bit more of a Florida death metal vibe. The songs are a little bit more palatable. The production's really good. Alex Kroll's vocals are fantastic. I don't know. And they do a really cool death demo song, Archangel, as a bonus track on here. But yeah, this is, I had Hallucinations first, but I was really blown away by this one when it dropped. Listened to it endlessly. It just had a better production. The songs were a little bit more simmered down a bit. They weren't so over the top technically twisting. You know, there might have been a little bit more atheist inspired on the first one. This one here, just, I don't know, just better old school death metal inspired as opposed to the tech old school death metal. But yeah, and of course the one after this, Blute, is just absolute hot garbage. What a piece of shit record. And then after that, TJ tells me that they're kind of back doing the cool old stuff again. But man, when you cross a precipice with an album like Blute, it's hard to go back from that. You know, Celtic Frost did it after a fashion, but I don't know. Some things are just unforgivable. I guess.
I'm kind of thinking TJ's the only person I've heard say they've gone back to something good, which makes me a little leery.
Yeah. TJ is lying. Sorry, I love the guy, but nah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not that big on Hallucinations. If I've got to complain about Hallucinations, it's not the tech, it's just that the story is so
it's fucked up.
It's such a just like, oh God. I really wish I hadn't read the lyrics to this album. But
I've got the cassette and the CD. I like Hallucinations. I think it's a good album, but I think they refined in the right way on the second one.
I mean, it's not about like a little girl becoming a drug addict and getting killed, or
it's a rough
committing suicide.
It's a rough topic.
Yeah, but yeah, I like both of them very much, as long as I'm not listening to the words.
Yeah. All right, George.
Okay, this one's the only one kind of same style with the industrial kind of thing. The only one I made by Ministry is this one, because it's one it's here. I was on TV a lot. NWO and Just One Fix was always on there, and I always liked it. But the other albums, I try to listen to, and the Dutch thing's really not my thing. But somehow this one just clicked with me, and it's a really good one. I mean, I don't know if the name of the album is supposed to be, because the album's got a weird freaking title, but I don't know what that's supposed to be called. Maybe the subtitle or Psalm 9.
Psalm 9, yeah.
Yeah. But it's really good though. I mean, one thing on Ministry, at least for this one, it doesn't really bother me for this one, is that they do repeat the same riff over and over. Somewhat doesn't bother me for this one, but I mean, a lot of bands do that, but this one really just goes over and over and over and over. But this one doesn't make a difference to me. I think it's done really well. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have any other albums by them or listen to them at all, so maybe you could, other ones that might be good. I mean, other ones are a little different, right? From what I heard.
My favorite, I like Ministry quite a bit, and my favorite is the album before that. Mine's a Terrible Thing to Taste, but Land of Rape and Honey is really good, and Twitch is really good when they're a little bit more synth pop / industrial. With Sympathy is kind of a British synth pop worship type of album. But there's the Bush trilogy. There's 3 albums where he's singing about against George Bush. All 3 of those records are really good. Really good. Really well written. Not as repetitive. But yeah, I like, in fact, me and the kid listened to the Mine's a Terrible Thing to Taste the other day driving around. He didn't care for it, but I saw them on that tour. I was always surprised at how popular Psalm 9 was. A lot of people love that record, and I finally got a copy here not too long ago and listening to it, and I'm like, it's just kind of boring compared to, the album before it, but
it had the hit.
It had the hit.
You just never know. You just don't know.
You don't know. Yep. All right. Good pick, though. Alan.
I think what I want to pick next. Yeah, let's do something a little more obscure here. Do some South American doom. Band called Condenados. This is one I know Kellen, Rick, some folks will know. This album, The Tree of Death, is fantastic. Really good atmospheric doom, excellently crafted songs. They've kind of got their own identity. I was really, really impressed and blown away with this album, which surprised me because their debut album, which is called A Painful Journey into Nile, I've tried so many times to like that album, and nothing about it really sticks with me at all. I got it when it came out. I think it was on Shadow Kingdom, maybe. I tended to pick up a lot of Shadow Kingdom releases around that time. And I played it. I'm just like, this is just a boring album at the end of the day. I mean, so I'm not even sure why I ended up checking out. I mean, I checked out nothing else by the band for a while, but at some point I gave this one a try, and it's like night and day. It's like everything that's wrong about the debut album is done right this time around. I don't really know much else about the band. I mean, the sample size is 2. It's a little low here. They may have made more albums. I haven't looked into them. But yes, this album I am very happy having on the shelf. I'd recommend it to any fans of doom metal, especially if you like things a little bit more on the atmospheric side. I would not recommend their debut album. I still see that album sometimes in distros and stuff, and it'll always be like $5. And there's a reason it's $5 because 20 years later, they're still trying to give it away because it's just not that good. But don't overlook the second one, The Tree of Death. This album, chef's kiss doom metal.
Sorry.
Nope, you're good. That was a shorter one because, I don't think the band has a particularly long discography, but one album I got to have, one album I don't need to have.
All right. Yeah, I'll talk of the new Corrosion Conformity album out. This is my Corrosion Conformity.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
I like the debut. It's a little bit more straight up punk here. They're getting a little bit more crossover, I guess. There's also Technocracy, which is really good. And 6 songs with Mike. It's a live tape. I like that whole era. When they started getting groovy, like groove metal, sludge, groove, whatever mix, they completely lost me. I guess that's when Pepper entered the picture. He
sings one song on Blind, and then he takes center stage on Deliverance. Yeah.
This is, I haven't listened to this in a hot minute, but going through the collection, I'm like, this is, if there was only one, this is the one I would need. I did to a point, I just don't care anymore about this band. So, and I did like Eye for an Eye, but I don't like it as much as I did this one. So this was a sweet spot for COC for me. You got the Pusshead cover. I'm assuming that's Pusshead. It looks like Pusshead. Probably. But anyway, check this one out. But if you're just into the Blind era moving forward, this stuff might seem, it is a different band. There's no comparison. Yeah. I just remember seeing Vote with a Bullet or whatever on MTV Headbangers Ball. I'm thinking, this is COC. This sucks. So, what do I know? But I came from the punk crossover side, so it was hard for me to switch over.
Yeah, see, if you combine me and Marty, you have one person who likes most of the COC catalog.
Right. Exactly.
But there's a very clear definition in between the two.
Yeah. And that combination is not legal in most states.
Nope. Only in Anne Rice novels about Frankenberry.
Yes.
But no, where you drop off is where I pick them up.
That's right. Okay.
I think the last time I bought my them was Wiseblood. That's the last one I got from them. But that's when it was okay. It wasn't the greatest album.
Yeah. All right. You're up.
Okay. The here's a band I probably should like more stuff from, and I have nothing to explore, but this is one I really like, this Mastodon Leviathan album, which I think is a brilliant album. Done really well.
Album. Yeah.
Lyrics are good. And those are the albums that people tell, I can't remember the names of them, but I've heard some of the stuff, and I know I should explore it more. But this is all I really just really like go back to. I try to listen to other stuff by them, and it just doesn't hit me. I guess maybe it's hit me at the right time. Sometimes you get this stuff, you got to be in the right mood for it, and sometimes you're not. This one I have to be in the mood for because it is kind of very proggy, but done really well. So I mean, it's one of those bands that I know people are popular in their earlier stuff. I don't know about the new stuff. I don't know how many they have a lot of albums out, but Leviathan's definitely a classic album, so enjoy it. But the other ones, I don't know.
They're a unique band. I get why people like them. They are Brett Hines' guitar playing style really added a lot to that band, and Brian Daler, his drumming is just absolutely godlike, crazy drummer. I had that one, and I had the EP or the mini CD, and those are the only ones I own by them. But I appreciate them. I just don't ever feel compelled to listen to them, I guess.
Yeah, I've had one or two of their albums, and they did not hit the right chord with me at all. I'd even have trouble telling you which albums they were at this point. To me, it seemed like one of those albums that was, people complained about, the whole hipster metal thing. And the drumming always kind of irritated me. It was like the guy always wanted to play lead drums, and that does grate on me a lot of the time. So like you can do often show fancy stuff, but you also have to kind of sit in the pocket and just hold down the rhythm sometimes. If you're playing more leads on the drum kit than I'm hearing from the guitars, I'm going to have issues figuring you out.
Yeah.
But I also suspect they're a band at some point I'm going to have to go back and check out a little bit more because, I haven't paid much attention to them over the years and probably should.
All right, Alan.
Let's see. We'll do this one's not on Metal Archives, which is probably fair, although some people, I know it's one of the bands that gets asked about the most, if I remember correctly, in terms of why don't you guys have a page for Monster Magnet? Because they're not metal. Well, fuck you guys. It's a constant source of irritation for the.
I like that band. I like them.
I enjoy Power Trip here. Several songs on here that are pretty fun and pretty heavy. I have tried a few other Monster Magnet albums. I certainly have not tried all of them.
Spine of God is a good one too.
Which one?
Spine of God.
I have not heard that one. I know I've heard God Says No. I know I've heard it's an album or two before this one, Dopes to Infinity.
Yep.
Dope. Yeah. Okay.
That's the one I picked.
Okay. You've got that one, George. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to pick. It's fine. That's cool.
Okay. Well, no, I want to say. Yeah, I want to hear what you say about that.
Comes up.
But yeah, this is the only one to me that is heavy enough, and that's the problem with the other ones I've heard is that they have the same kind of trippy 70s retro throwback references to weird toys and drugs and all that kind of stuff. The same building blocks as this one, but this one actually has some heaviness to it, and the other ones, at the end of the day, they feel like 90s rock albums. Whereas this is the one that actually feels like a heavy 90s rock album. And that seems to be the key difference for me, that the other ones just were not heavy enough to hold my attention. Some okay songs here and there, but nothing that I really need to have on the shelf. Whereas Power Trip, I do keep around as don't play it constantly, but it's fun for a spin when I'm in the right mood. And I've been in the mood. I've actually, played a couple of other Monster Magnet ones here lately because I've been in the mood for that kind of, slightly fuzzed out, stoner desert, whatever you want to call it. And again, the other ones are just like, I probably should just be playing Power Trip instead of this, or Orange Goblin, or Caius. Yeah, let's play Caius. Let's put this away. So Monster Magnet, I just haven't found that second album. They've got a bunch of others. Maybe Spine of God or one is one I would dig. I've had a friend who's tried to recommend a bunch of them to me over the years, and I found the one. So I did find one.
That's a good album.
The glass is half full.
I like that one too, man. It's a good record. Spine of God, though, it might have been the first one I heard, but it's just heavy. It is very psychedelic, very 70s, a lot of type of effects swirling around in the background, and
I'm okay with that. When I'm in the mood, and Tony, I've tried that one, Tony, and it's not that it's bad. It didn't seem quite heavy. I'm waiting for the heavy song, is always my problem with God Says No. I'm like, when's the heavy song going to come on? Where's the? And I never hear it. Oh well, Monster Magnet was my pick.
All right. Where am I going next? Oh, this one is going to piss off people. I don't care. It's the only one you need by this band.
You already crapped on Contreras, which I died a little inside over that.
Cause of Death by Obituary. There you go.
Oh, Marty.
Yep. Slowly We Rot's a good record too. And Complete is this album, part 2.
Fair.
The self-titled later on in their career is good. It's a good record. I bought it. I enjoy it. The last one is good. I enjoy it. But this is the only one you need. Let's be honest with each other here. Let's
you're in denial.
Look into each other's eyes and tell no lies. This is the only Obituary album you really, really need.
We can look into each other's eyes until Slowly We Rot, son.
But yeah, I mean, this is a band that, they would experiment. World Demise had some way more groovy little industrial loops, and we were talking about that album a little bit on past Wednesday's Album Club. We were talking about Meat Hook Seed, which had Trevor Perez and Donald Tardy involved in it with Mitch Harris from Napalm Death. There was some things that you heard on that you might have heard also eventually on World Demise. So there's some good shit. I'm not saying that all Obituary sucks. I am not. They're just kind of a one-trick pony. And this, whenever I'm in the mood for Obituary, I'm spinning this one. That's just me. That's the way it goes. I think there's some really good songs on here, some classics, and it hit at the right time. It was my first Chopped in Half. Yeah. Well, this whole album.
I like Falafel's comment. I'm pissed, but I'm not surprised. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. That's all right. Again, stirring the pot. That's all I'm doing, I guess, tonight. So
the heart wants what the heart wants.
Exactly.
Wait, that's not Anne Rice. That's Titanic. Crap.
That's funny.
Basically the same story, just a boat on the water.
Yeah. And one they freeze to death instead of having their blood sucked out.
Exactly. So it's all the same shit. George.
Well, since you showed, I'm going to show this one and this Monster Magnet one. Thought the Dopes to Infinity was really good. Just on the Teenage Megastic Warhead. I mean, I can just play that song over and over and over again. It's just a killer song. But the whole album's good. It's got that Ken feel to it. It's not exactly right now. It's not that super heavy like I look for. But actually, I never even heard Power Trip. That one I haven't even heard. So now I'm going to have to try that one. But I do have Spine of God, which is pretty good too. So I agree with you there, Marty. But this one, this one is the first one I got, and I've listened to it for years. So my wife even likes this one. She's not into this kind of stuff usually, but she likes it. It's really good though. So that one kind of the one I like. Mm-hmm. And they got a ton of albums now. So I did see them live. They played at some I don't know, the Rock and Food Truck Festival years ago here in New York. Yeah. Which Twisted Sister actually was the headliner for that. But Overkill was there, Ray Shirley played there, and someone I can't remember who else was playing there. A whole bunch of bands were playing there. Angel. Well, it wasn't Angel. Punky Meadows and Angel. So there's a whole bunch of weird bands playing together. But yeah, so that's a Monster Magnet. They're really good live though. But that album just sticks out to me.
Yeah. I think that band impacts a lot of people kind of where they get in with that band. You know what I mean? Where they first, for me, it was Spine of God. I did get Power Trip shortly thereafter. And like I said, I listened to the shit out of Power Trip. I think that's a great record too. I even like Megalithic Baby. Is that the name of the album after Power Trip? I don't know. Some good stuff on there too. But again, a little bit more commercial as he goes. But Spine of God, wow. There's just some heavy, cool songs on that. And the dynamic shifts. I don't know. There's some really good stuff. But what do I know? I just picked Obituary, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And George, maybe what I need to do is go back and, play like Dopes to Infinity. But before I started, I just got to kind of remind myself, it's like, okay, don't listen to it expecting the really heavy song. Listen to it for what it is and not what I'm expecting it to be. I am bad to do that sometimes with albums. If I think it should be one thing and it's not, You know, it kind of curls my cornflakes. That's not a real saying. Anyway, but yeah,
that's a new T-shirt. So there you go. Make that up.
yeah, I don't know if that one's going to make it out of beta production, but we'll see. But yeah, maybe I just do need to give Monster Magnet a chance and be like, okay, Power Trip's the heavy album. These others are something else. Let's figure out what those are. A lot of times, if I just listen, if I go back, like you were saying earlier, sometimes you got to go back and give things another chance.
Yeah.
And for me, that sometimes means adjusting my ears to hear what they're doing, not what I thought they were going to be doing.
All right, sir, you are up.
All right. This one, don't get pissed when I show it. The problem here is I just haven't heard a big.
They're already pissed.
But they'll get more pissed if I don't qualify this. I just don't know a whole lot of this band's catalog. I know 2 albums well, and I know some others here and there but spotty, very, very spotty. It's Sinister. Cross the Sticks is fantastic. Diabolical Summoning is okay. The cover art's better than the album. It's not a bad
Florida
album.
death metal.
It's just kind of an average, death metal album. And then I just really don't know a ton more Sinister stuff. I've heard people mention other albums are pretty good.
Hate's good.
I've heard a few songs here and there.
Afterburner.
Afterburner's one I've heard people mention. I never come across them. So there's never been the opportunity like, oh, hey, there's Afterburner for $8. And I never really feel like, oh, I got to go out and, track that down and, purchase it, for $19.98 plus $10 shipping. It doesn't feel like I want to do that. So yeah, with Sinister, I'm okay really just having this, and that's a weird 2-on-1 thing. I'm really okay with just having this half of it. Although I do love this cover art. This is amazing cover art.
Cross the Sticks is such a god tier album in my eyes. I love
that.
This
is a fantastic album. There's probably other stuff in their catalog I would like. I just need a chance to track it down, or someday I have to sit down and remember, okay, I'm going to grade papers for 3 hours. Today's the day I dial up Sinister on YouTube Music and finally start figuring them out. So right now, I really only need to own this one thing, but this is one that would probably change if I dug into their catalog some more. So that's what I'm saying. I am not poo-pooing anything in Sinister's catalog. I'm openly admitting I only like this one out of 2 because they're the only 2 I know well enough to comment on. So Sinister's my pick this time around.
Cross the Sticks, I get all fired up just thinking how awesome that record is. So good. So good. Thrashy and weird and just killer. All right. This is another early pick. I don't know why this band in this album keeps showing up on this channel, but Fool's Game by Mordred. This is, for me, the only album you need by this band. They got way more funky as they went along. And, I don't know. The first I heard of this band was on a Doomsday News 2 comp. I think it was The Artist. They're a Bay Area band. They don't sound Bay Area thrash at all. They feel very different from the rest of the scene. But they have a really tight, really tuned up high. They sound like their standard tuning, and their singer is very almost pitch singing, shouting style. But then they throw in Every Day's a Holiday and the cover of Rick James's Super Freak, which is funk. It's funk metal, which, you're getting, what year was this? This came out in 89. Right around this era, that's starting to become a thing. I never cared for it. And those 2 songs always kind of derailed the moments. They're thankfully spaced out quite a ways, but the thrash on this record is solid. I've always enjoyed this record. I've heard the one after it, and the band has splintered into several different bands. The one after it I thought was really hard to listen to. Too much funk. I just don't care about that genre. But, Mordred, Fool's Game. If you're going to get in, check out this band. I think this is probably the only one you need. I know there are people that would disagree with that, and they say there's some people that love the second album. But again, the funk thing is a little bit more prevalent for others than it is for me. George.
Okay. This is not a band, I think, a popular band. I mean, I don't mind who they are. I think you showed them one, maybe. Babylon AD.
Oh yeah, that's a great album.
Their debut was good. I didn't know they had this many. I listened to a couple of things, and I had the second one. Didn't just, I think it was Sacred something.
Nothing
Had a
sacred.
couple good, nothing sacred. It was okay, but they had more albums than I
Yeah.
thought. This is for some, but nothing to write home about. This was really good. I mean, it's Paramount, but it's a little more serious. It wasn't as goofy. They don't look
Mm-hmm.
as crazy with the costume. This year, just wearing what regular just
Yep.
80s freaking clothes and shit. But the album's really good though. I mean, I remember hearing that song was it RoboCop 2?
Yep. The Kid Goes
The
Wild.
Kid Goes Wild. It's great too.
Yep.
I mean, the whole album's really good. So
Sam Kinison
but
guested on that one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so good. I figured,
Yeah, no, I love that
you're not a
album. That's
popular
an old favorite.
No, I figured. I thought you showed it. I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yeah,
not a
it's a good
popular
one.
band. Didn't really, they kind of came at the tail end of everything, and that's when everything started
Yeah.
to nosedive with all that stuff.
Yep.
But it's definitely a quality album from that time, which people should explore more.
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah. They had limited MTV play with, I forget if it was Bang Goes the Bells or one of the songs on there had a video but it didn't get many
I think
rotations.
it was Bang Goes the Bells.
That sounds right.
That's
But,
where. Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
you're right
opening
though.
track, so.
Yeah, they're best known for the RoboCop song with Sam Kinison screaming in the bridge, "Ah, you fucking cops! You're never gonna take me alive! Ah, fuck you!" Ah! Doing the whole Sam Kinison thing.
I saw Sam live
Oh, really? Cool.
and he was I saw in the '89 I saw Bon Jovi live, and he was on stage and singing Wild Thing with Bon Jovi and the guys from Skid Row and Billy Squire because that's what they opened for, and I was like, okay, that's crazy, but I saw Sam Kinison before he passed on.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my younger days.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and you're right. The second album is like, it has a handful of good songs, but it's not in league with that one.
Oops. Sorry. All right. Alan.
All right, let's pick something completely different. We'll go for sort of a 70s rock entry here with the band Stars and their fourth and last album, Coliseum Rock. This band never quite got over the hump in the 70s. They, were on a major. They put out 4 albums. They were very good live. They had lineup instability problems was one issue. And the other 3 albums can be uneven. The one that's probably best known is Violation, which is their second album. And it has some great stuff on it. But there are some songs that really overshadow the rest of that album. The third album got very kind of watered down poppy sounding. It's called Attention Shoppers. That's a good
one.
name for a rock album.
Yeah, this is one. This is a very strange album.
Yeah. I have it.
I have it.
It's a tough one.
I don't listen to it.
No. But Coliseum Rock, this album is fantastic. Start to finish, there's almost every track on here is great. It channels a lot of their love for like old, 50s rock and roll, Chuck Berry kind of stuff, just, upgraded and funneled into a 70s hard rock sound. At times, they sound a little on the songs that you could tell certain songs were meant to maybe try to get some airplay. They sound like better versions of Boston songs. And then the heavier tunes, they kind of sound a bit similar to like a junior Thin Lizzy. So if something between Boston and Thin Lizzy sounds interesting, this is the one to go check out. They had a very good, very charismatic frontman. And I'm blanking on his name when it's important. He went by something like Michael Lee Smith. And the folklore has always been that when they were opening for another up-and-coming act in the late 70s, their frontman was so impressed with him that he added a third part to his name, and that's when David Roth went to David Lee Roth. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. I'm not a Van Halen fan, but that has been the lore that Roth and a young Van Halen were very impressed when they saw the kind of high-energy performance put out by Stars. Coliseum Rock, it's a great album. just to give it a little bit of heavy metal street cred, when Metal Blade did some of their weird From the Vault releases, they had that period where Metal Blade had a connection with one of the majors, and I forget which one it was. But part of that deal was Metal Blade was allowed to poke around in the vaults of, the parent company, and had a chance to release some things if they wanted to. And one of the first things that Brian Slagel went and looked for were the Stars albums. And so, yep, he did. This is not one of them. This is not a Metal Blade press. But there was somewhere around the turn of the century, or maybe it was earlier than that. Yeah, the Stars catalog got put back out on Metal Blade records. And it's not metal, but it's the kind of thing that Slagel really loved. It fits in with his love of Thin Lizzy. That this was something he liked so much, he put it out on Metal Blade, knowing it wasn't going to be a particularly good seller. But yeah, if you've never checked out Coliseum Rock, again, the band name is kind of lame, Stars with a Z. The cover is going to make you think it's some kind of wannabe Journey album or something, but it is a really good 70s rock album.
It's good.
The one to own. Violation is not a bad one either. If you want a second one, get Violation.
That's good. I saw them live over the summer. They played with the only two members left. That were the drummer and the guitar player, Richie Arano. The only two left from the band. They were with Angel, who's also only got two original members left, and Zebra, who has all three of their members.
Okay, that bill makes a lot of sense. I can see.
Yeah, it was a very small place, just in a little tiny area. But because it was cheap, I said it was right down the road. It was like 10 minutes, 20 minutes from my house. I'm like, so my wife, let's go. I like Stars. I like Angel. And she liked Zebra, so let's go see it. So we went. It was a good time.
Cool.
So it's an old 70s band. They don't tell me how long they're going to be around for, but they put on a good show. So I definitely enjoyed it.
Good deal. Yeah. For a long time, Stars was very strict about keeping their stuff off YouTube. Like even 10 years ago, you could not find hardly any Stars material on YouTube. They were very diligent about flagging it as like, no, you're not putting our stuff online. I think they've softened on that over time, so you can probably check them out easier now. But for a long time, it was a kind of a hard band to check out stuff by if you couldn't find the albums, because they were not readily available online until more recently.
You mean like a regular a video, or like they're just like on the YouTube like music app, but just in the music, like they couldn't find stuff on there?
Even videos. If you just like did star, like if you typed in Stars and an album, there were no full album uploads. If you type certain songs, there were you could find 2 or 3 Stars songs, but a lot of times they would be taken down within a month or so, and then somebody might try uploading them again. So it was always a little bit. You could tell somebody was in the Stars camp was definitely flagging that stuff to get it removed as fast as anybody tried to put it up. And let's face it, it's not like there were thousands of people uploading Stars songs to YouTube.
No, that's true. Yeah. No, I see a lot of that with the YouTube music. I noticed that with Battery. Like if you go on a full album, there's like 3 songs from each album. They don't show the entire album. They won't play it. They'll like throw 2 or 3 songs. I don't know why they make such a thing about the Battery album. You're not supposed to, you can't like listen to them on YouTube Music. I don't know why. Some of the albums are like that. Very odd. Budgie too. I think it's the same thing with the band Budgie. They do the same kind of thing. They don't show all their albums either. Someone to control that stuff.
Yep. Someone's watching it.
All right. Well, let's go with this one. Scrolls in the Megaloth by Mortification. I think it's the second Mortification record. This is a good record that always kind of suffered from not the best guitar tone, but Steve Rowe's vocals greatly made up for that. The songs are still good. This is the era where he had Jason Sherlock on drums, who went on to do Paramecium, which is killer death doom styled band in the vein of My Dying Bride, and he also did the black metal band Horde. The only album from that is Helig Usvart, which I think is sick as hell, killer. Great riffs, great songs, but Mortification is one of those bands. They're early. The self-titled is really good. This is really good. The one after it, the Post-Monetary Affliction, is starting to show some cracks, and then after that, Blood World and moving forward, Steve just has it in his head that he doesn't want to growl anymore. He goes to more of a hardcore shout, and the music kind of gets more boring, more predictable. I don't know what it is. But they lost me pretty early on, and he got sick and beat it. I think he's sick again. There's a band going around of Jason Sherlock, Luke from Crimson Thorn is going to be doing vocals on. They're going to be playing some Mortification stuff, I think South American tour. But I've heard that Steve might not be feeling well again, so I don't know. I don't know that. Don't quote me. I don't know. But
I heard that too. It's something with he can't play anymore. Something something happened. I don't know exactly what.
It's a bummer, but this is. I always liked this band up to a certain point, and after that, it's just more disappointing than anything else. You can go whatever style you want to go in, but they definitely left the quality of their early material behind as Steve took the project moving forward. In my opinion, anyway. All right, George, you're up.
Okay. All right. This is another one I have, and the other ones, they all have 3 albums, I believe, down. They have 3 albums, correct? This one is the only one I need. It's the only one I need, and it's good. It's a good album. I mean, I don't know, but the other ones are okay. This one is, it's a good album. I actually got this free in a dumpster. And I'll tell you a story. A friend of my wife's called me and said, George, you got to come down here. Some guy, his entire CD collection is in the dumpster. I'm like, get the hell out of here. So we went down there, and this guy's entire CD collection was in the dumpster. In good shape, too. I'm thinking his girlfriend got pissed at him, at someone, and you're throwing all your shit out. And there was all kinds of stuff. Freaking Dio, Maiden, all their albums were in there. And we're just like, I called my friend, got a whole bunch of shit, took the Testament, Metallica, all these. I was like, wow, this is in all good shape too. These were all like in a dumpster. I'm like, who the fuck does that?
like you said, yeah, someone got pissed off.
That's out of anger. That's like, let's just sell them. No, I'm throwing them out. Just throw them out in the dumpster.
Someone's mom probably or dad said, "You're no more of this devil stuff. It's going in the garbage."
It's the guy from Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
The dad.
Yeah. The guy from Twisted Sister on your uniform. Yeah.
Yeah, but this album is good though. But the other ones are just, about the same. They're, kind of the same thing over and over. But definitely a good album to have though.
All right. Alan.
Yeah, I had that one in my stack as well as George. Because, I love this album. Nola is fantastic. I used to play this to death, like in the late 90s. It doesn't come off the shelf as much anymore. But you're right. The ones after it, there's nothing wrong with them. It just kind of feels like more of the same, though. I got the second one as soon as it came out, and was like, oh, well, yeah, it's just
part 2.
Yep, it's just part 2, and I think I'm okay just with part 1. All right. This next one parallels my Lord Belial pick in a lot of ways. It's God Dethroned with the Grand Grimoire. Yeah, this was another one of those European death metal albums that got licensed in the U.S., so thanks to our good folks at Metal Blade, this one was pretty easy to find. And for me, it was another one of those, blind buy. Looks interesting. Saw Metal Blade. Sure, I have $15 I don't need. And yeah, it's a great album. It's held up surprisingly well over the years. A lot of good tracks I like on here. It's a very vicious album, but also tightly melodic at the same time. So I really always liked the way they balanced both sides of that equation. And the one after this is what? Bloody Blasphemy? It was another case of didn't get the same kind of distribution deal, so it was harder to get. Took me too long to find. Kind of got ticked off looking for it. Finally heard it probably through tape trading. I honestly don't remember if I finally bought a copy or tape traded for it. Played it and was just like, yeah, that's not as good as the last one. And I spent all this time trying to get it, and now it's kind of so-so. And this band has stuck around. They've got, again, a lot of albums, and I've checked out a little bit here and there. And I've never really found one that made me want to pull the trigger. There's one that's got kind of a weird green cover. I think it's got like a needle or syringe or drug paraphernalia, something like that on the cover. And you see it in like discount bins a lot on different distros and stuff. Like, oh, maybe that was worth $5. And I played a couple songs like, no, I'm not sure that's worth the $5. So I'm not sure if God Dethroned just never kind of found the magic again, or maybe I've just sampled the wrong albums. They have one album that's got like a World War I or World War II theme to it that I see some folks kind of talk up a bit. I don't remember I want 1918 or something like that. Maybe it has a numerical title. Yeah, again, not well versed in the catalog, so I'm not saying it's a bad catalog. I'm just saying the Grand Grimoire, big thumbs up for me. I've yet to find the second God Dethroned album that needs a place on my shelf. But the chat can maybe set me straight on that. I'll check while Marty shows off his next pick.
Ravenous is also in that era too. That's a good record as well. Good band. Anyway, okay, here's a band from Germany that sounds like they're from Sweden. This is Nightingales with Towards the Twilight. This is their debut full length. And this is a band, like I said, if you didn't read where they were from, you would think this was Gothenburg, Sweden during the 90s, during the whole heyday. This came out in 97. So it is during the whole heyday, but location wise, they are not Swedish. But yeah, this is very melodeath, melodic Swedish death metal sounding. Yeah. The songs on this are really good. And as they went on, this band has got, I was just looking them up and I'm shocked to see they have 9 albums. I mean, 9 really? Freaking albums. Oh. After this one was I got a promo for Thunder Beast, which is a horrendously stupid cover. And it was very boring. Nailwork, another shitty album.
Yeah.
Cover, shitty album. And after that, I stopped paying attention, but their covers did not improve until 2011. They started to get a little bit more back on track, it seems. And I don't know. This is is it a standout? Like I said, I'm shocked that this band put out an album in 2024. They're still active and going. So someone must be saluting it.
Yeah.
But this is a good record. But after this, they got really derivative, even more so than this. And the cover artwork and everything just did not accommodate. It was just everything about it was bad. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this is the only thing you really need. I also have a disc with the demos on it, which were cool as well. So, Nightingales, what were you going to say, Alan? Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's a good pick. No, I'm just thinking because there's 9 albums. You're right. I mean, there has to be enough of a fan base to keep that band going for 9 albums in 25 plus years.
And they've done
right. And it's not that they're bad. They're just so bloody derivative of so many other bands. It's like, how is there enough support out there to keep a band that far down in like the B or C tier going for that many years? It's a little mind boggling. You and I have talked about that off camera before. There's with like all the Nightwish clone bands out there.
Yep.
I am always amazed at how many of those bands have now been around for like 20 plus years, and they've never done anything but sound like a second-rate Nightwish.
Yeah.
And they've got 7 or 8 or 9 albums, and they're doing their 25th anniversary tour. I'm just like, you still exist? I thought you died with MySpace. Why didn't you die with MySpace? Oh my God. Who is buying all that stuff? I'm not criticizing the people who do. If you hear it and you like it, that's absolutely fine. I'm just surprised there's enough people that want to hear those second and third tier bands to keep them going for such a long time. It's one thing to get 2, maybe 3 albums out, and then you've kind of run your course. But when you're talking 9 albums in 25 years,
here you go.
That's a hell of a career. That's a much longer career than many top-notch bands ever get a chance to do. And you're doing it by just playing the most derivative thing you can off somebody else's coattails. Weird.
Nagelfire's bought every single one of their releases. Every single one. All are great. And also Metal Hellbilly Guilty. It's me. I'm buying it.
Yep. Sometimes I get, people, and hey, I connect with weird bands sometimes too. I mentioned it earlier with House of Lords. House of Lords is not the cutting edge of, hard rock in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, or 2020s. And I own albums from all those decades by House of Lords. Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't be as surprised.
To be fair, the whole melodic Swedish death metal era, it exploded, and there were so many freaking bands. And at that time, I was writing for my own zine and writing for Metal Maniacs, so I was getting a lot of this stuff sent to me. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, Thunder Beast, the cover's stupid. The one after it, the cover's stupid. That better be really special music to excite me. For me, I was just completely overburdened by too much music. And, it could have been great or just average, and even average isn't bad, but it just did not do anything to interest me. So I was just oversaturated with it. Everdawn, Sacrilege, Gardenian, Gates of Ishtar, which, people, there's like this revisionist history on Gates of Ishtar. People love that band now. And that band, when it came out, I was listening to them like, this is derivative and boring.
They were a C-tier band at best for years, and now they're veterans. Yep.
And we called it out on the album club saying it's a C-tier band, and the chat almost, hurled garbage at us and still bitching about it on the Discord server. So, it's crazy. New fans come in, hear that stuff, and aren't burdened by hearing every other band around doing the exact same goddamn thing. So
that's a good point.
I get it.
Something else that occurs to me too, as you're saying that, because with new fans coming in and hearing that and liking it, one thing those bands did that sort of the A-list bands didn't do, the B and C tier bands, they stick to that formula.
Yeah.
Like In Flames didn't stick to that formula very long. In Flames went and did In Flames things. Dark Tranquillity didn't stick. Those were the bands leading that scene. But there's only so many Dark Tranquillity and In Flames albums that fit that style. Eucharist only did 2 albums? Was there a third?
There's the first one, the Mirror World.
There's the first one, Mirrorworks. Is there a third one?
Let me look. I have
it doesn't matter. I mean, the point is that, again, the top-notch bands don't necessarily...
22, they put out I Am the Void.
Okay. Well, it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
If you really liked that sound and wanted to hear more of it, you can only go so deep with In Flames and Dark Tranquillity. So maybe that's where those bands find their longevity. It's just like, hey, there are people who really do want to just keep hearing melodic, Gothenburg-style death metal. Give the people what they want, and you can make a career out of that. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yep.
There could be something to that.
It's funny because I bought that Nightingale's album as a blind buy, and I listened to it once and I didn't think anything of it. I just listened to it maybe a couple months ago, and I'm like, that album's really quite good. I guess you have to be in the right mind space sometimes for something. You got to really pay attention. You can't, some of the bands you can't put in as background music. You have to actually pay attention.
That is a really good point, George. Yep,
it's true.
I think I said that to you in your thing when you did your thing about the Nile albums. You have to listen to the Nile albums. You can't just put that in the background anything. You have to pay attention to what's going on.
I remember when I got that promo for that Everdawn, Secrets Burn the Past or whatever.
Poems Burn the Past.
Poems Burn the Past.
Which I like that one.
I listened to that record, and all I heard was the little brother of Slaughter to the Soul, Terminal Spirit Disease.
Yep.
And I would see all these reviews other people were doing, just singing its praises from the mountaintop. I'm like, this is so blatantly derivative. It is completely, it's talented. I'll give them that. It's just so unoriginal. These guys it's such a close-knit scene and such a small, close together scene. So how could you not be sniffing each other's farts when you're in the rehearsal room, making this stuff? It was just so running rampant at the time, and it was easy to burn out. You burn out on it quick. The same damn formula over and over and over. But anyway, we got on a tangent here, which is fine.
That's okay. Yeah. Melodic death metal for me is a style where I can only take it in small. I like it, but in small doses to begin with. So when you start overwhelming me with lots of albums and bands, I do burn out on it quick.
Yeah. All right. You are up, George.
All right, this one falls same in line with the Praying Mantis album, and that's Jaguar Power Games.
Yep. Someone else mentioned that in the chat. I think it was Goldie
Yeah.
Wax. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good album, but after that, just didn't. Nothing else was really interesting to me at all.
No,
but
that second album is just a train wreck.
Yeah, well, they get a hold of them. Let's make you into something else than that you're not, and just change your whole entire sound. And you're not going to be Jaguar. You're going to be Jaguar name only,
Yep.
or whatever the band is. I mean, a lot of bands fell into that whole trap. Look at the fourth album from Tires of Pantang. I mean, they just totally.
Yep. Same exact thing. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, they just went. Let's make
it. We're now
top
Jaguar trademark copyright LLC.
All right.
Yep. Yeah,
well, we're getting a lot of covers that we've done on the Album Club. Everybody go check out the Album Club every Wednesday. We covered that Jaguar album. Give that a. You were on that one, weren't you, Alan?
You invited me. I don't know if I did that one or not. Maybe.
I think that was a Logan pick, actually. Yeah.
I think y'all invited me, but I think I couldn't make it or something that night.
That might have been it. Yep.
Yeah. I think I passed on it.
You were there in spirit. All right.
Well, I watched it, but yeah, good album. This time, not a good album. Okay. Here's one fantastic album. And once again, I don't know the catalog inside out, and I've never found another one that's even close to this one. It is Burning Star with No Turning Back. So this is Jack Starr's post-Virgin Steel project. Jack was the hotshot guitarist on the first couple of Virgin Steel albums. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't the hotshot guitarist in Virgin Steel anymore. Jack's telling of it, this is how brutal it was. The way Starr found out he had been kicked out of Virgin Steel, he went into like a restaurant for like lunch, just like at a diner. And the waitress recognized him. She's like, "Oh, hey, you're Jack Starr. You used to be the guitarist in Virgin Steel." And he's like, "The fuck do you mean, used to be?" She's like, "Oh, awkward." Apparently everyone knew but him that the other guys had
voted weird.
Him off the island. Yeah, how fucking weird would that be? But yeah, DeFay and company wanted to go in a different direction, and they did, and kind of just forgot to tell Jack. So he did a solo album with Rhett Forrester doing vocals. It's a really good album. I'm not usually a big fan of solo albums.
That's a good one.
Jack Starr's Out of the Darkness is a great album. And then he got started with Burning Star. And this album is fantastic. It has its issues. There's a James Taylor cover included on it. Why? But everything, get beyond that. That's not a deal breaker here. If you pass on the album because of that, you're going to miss some excellent material. This is a band that's tinkering with what would become a European style of power metal a few years later. This is a band that's kind of starting to, delve into Thunder Steel style Riot. But this is 1986. Thunder Steel's not until 88. Keeper. This is around the same time Keeper of the Seven Keys is getting ready to come out. Again, Jack's a great guitarist, and he really shows off some neoclassical chops on this. They have a great vocalist on this. I think it's Mike Torelli. He sings in that really high register the same way Tony Moore does on Thunder Steel and Privilege of Power. So, yeah, there's some absolutely great neoclassical proto power metal stuff on this album. And it's always made me think there's got to be more good stuff like that, but it feels like, I don't know if there were lineup changes or if Jack just wanted to go back to a little bit more of a meat and potatoes kind of style of delivery. But the other Burning Star stuff I've heard doesn't have this particular sound to it at all. It sounds a bit, not bad, but plainer. This sounds like the very fancy, go for it kind of album. The others sound like, straightforward. They're still around. They still do stuff. And they certainly has a fan base. Folks enjoy a lot of the stuff. The current vocalist has worked with other projects too. So, they're out there, plugging away at it. No turning back. It's one of those sort of somewhat overlooked gems of the mid 80s US power metal scene. And I can't find anything else in their catalog that compares to it. So if anyone in the chat knows one, again, I missed pieces here and there. I haven't played them all. So feel free to shout out if I've just been listening to all the wrong parts of the Burning Star catalog.
James
now
Taylor.
that one you showed, that's the second one with the Burning Star moniker. The one before that, I think, is Rock the American Way. If you heard that one, that's very poppy.
Yes, I have heard that one, and you're right. Yeah, that one.
That one's like totally different because I bought that one after I bought the one you just showed, and I'm like, this is not sound like the same freaking band.
Yep. Yeah, this is the Sentinel Steel reissue. The original. Yeah, the picture inside. Here's the original.
Yep, that's yeah, yeah. I have that same, not that one, but the one you did that reissue you're showing.
Yeah, he's trying to steal the essence of Richie Blackmore in that guitar.
I will bet you all my Lemmy CDs that Jack Starr was a huge Blackmore fan.
Yeah.
That makes all the sense in the world. But yeah, George, you're right. Yeah, the one before that, very poppy. Others I've heard, like I said, just kind of a little bit more Rod's style, blue collar metal delivery. Not bad, but man, this album's up there, and the others are just kind of average.
James Taylor is the sonic equivalent of white wallpaper.
I'm not arguing with you. I agree. It's that Fire and Rain song, I think. What's that? I don't even. It's called Fire and Rain, isn't it?
Oh God!
They're right here. I mean, I wish I was kidding, but it's right in there. About third or fourth song, cover of James Taylor, Fire and Rain.
You like that song? Even Bad Lass covered that song.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a roommate in college. He liked two bands. I mean, his entire CD and tape collection was two bands. Fish, the PHISH one, and James Taylor. I lived with him for a year. I paid off a lot of karma that year.
I always wonder why some of these bands will record some of these older songs like that, and like why they pick that particular songs. Like when Sodom did Surf and Burn. Why would you fucking do Surf and Burn in your album? And your side, it's just the weirdest. Like, why? Like, who picked it when they just drugs? Let's do it. Let's put it on the album. Why not?
Or Blind Guardian doing Barbara Ann.
Or Mr. Sandman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fucking, what are you thinking, man?
They made a video for Mr. Sandman. Who wastes money making a video for the cover song that's a joke? That video haunts my dreams.
What the hell are you thinking?
George, I actually know the answer to the Surfing Bird one.
Okay.
Because that one's on M16, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Surfing Bird. They wanted a cover song that was something popular from that era that guys would have like listened to. Would have been a big
in Vietnam
with the GIs in Vietnam. Now, granted, there were other songs that were popular during those years. They could have found a better one, but that was the mentality behind picking Surfer Bird. They wanted something that they felt kind of fits the theme of the album that way.
You could have picked a Creedence song. You could have picked
a
Stone
Sun would have been perfect.
I love Creedence.
Yes. Yeah. What Traveling Band? They could have thrashified Traveling Band and made that a cover song. And
Blind Guardian just has no excuse. They just pick dumb songs that cover.
Blind Guardian, I always felt like they were almost going out of their way to troll people to an extent. You made a video for bum 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 bum, Mr. Sandman.
Look how funny we are. Fuck off. God.
That song, it's like the soundtrack to every nightmare involving Anne Rice novels all over again.
And we haven't done the bad covers episode yet, have we? That's been
we did cover songs, and we did. I think we treated that as best and worst.
That's right.
I'd have to double check. Maybe we kept it positive on that episode.
Oh, that's right, because he used the
Kiss cover band.
The Kiss cover band on the thumbnail. It was great.
Yeah. But we may have only stuck to covers we liked on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right. Okay. good side tangent there. This is a Latvian band, and they are Skyforger. This is a Kai Pia Solace. Sure, I nailed that. I'm sure I sounded very Latvian. This is the debut full length by Skyforger. After this, the singer went from a very aggressive, awesome black metal screaming style to more of a shouted style. The music got a lot more folky. As it is here, you get the mouth harp on here every once in a while, but the music is great. This has always been kind of a standout Eastern block style black metal band that I always... the demo and this are fantastic. After that, they started to lose me. I know people like Latvian Rifleman, people like what came out afterwards. I just kind of came to a point where I stopped following them because the vocals didn't match the intensity on the demo and the full length. So yeah, this debut Skyforger record is a ripper. Really always enjoyed the shit out of it. And if you've never heard it, check it out. Good stuff.
I've heard some of their stuff and liked it, but I couldn't even tell you which album it was.
I think they also had an album called Thunder Forge, which was a little better. I don't know.
This one had a tree on the cover.
They're on Metal Blade for a hot minute, which I always thought was kind of strange. But
might have been that then.
All right, George.
All right. This one might surprise some people that it's the only one I like. They came back in recent years, put out people telling me really good albums, but Satan, Courtney Act.
Ah, okay.
This is the classic one.
Sorry, Frank.
But it's a good one. But the new ones that they put, I have the one after it with a different singer, and it's not the same vibe at all. Totally different kind of band with that one. But they came back to new albums. They're heavier, but I don't. Which is weird because I like Brian Ross's voice. I like the Blitzkrieg stuff much better than Satan. And I don't know why. And they repeat some of the stuff with that, but I mean, I have a lot of the Blitzkrieg albums. But the Satan one, this is the only one I really, really go to that I need. So, I mean, it's not missing something with the new ones. I don't know. I mean, people say how good they are, heavier.
Yep.
A lot of people praise them. I'm not saying they're wrong at all. I mean, but I just your time and no one day go, oh, I like it. I clicked. It just finally clicked in my head. It's just the weirdest thing how that always happens.
No, I'm kind of in that same boat, George. Everyone praises all those reunion era Satan albums, and I hear them, and I'm just like, it's fine. I wouldn't gush about any of them. I'm whatever you're missing, I'm missing the same thing. I noticed folks were down on the last one, the one they did within the past year or so was the first time I left. It's like, maybe this one's not so hot. But until then, they'd been on kind of a hot streak for most folks. But I don't quite get it either.
All right. Ellen.
Oh, what to pick? Well, let's do this one. Here's another band. I just don't know. There's a lot of stuff in their catalog I don't know. And I haven't found that second album to sit alongside The Nocturnal Silence by Necrophobic. This one's a bit of a gem. And again, it's just more ignorance of the catalog than anything else that I've heard some stuff here and there. So I was like, that's good. It's not $16.99 plus shipping good. So move along with my life. A year later, hear part of some other ones like, that's okay. It's not $18 and, wait, 3 to 5 weeks for delivery good. So we'll pass on that too. And there's lineup changes after this, as I understand. Because, Marty, y'all covered the sophomore album, I think, on Album Club, right?
Yeah, we did Spawned by Dark Side. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And folks in general seemed kind of positive about that one, but it also seemed like there was kind of a clear break between this one and that one.
They started to go more. David Parlin was in the band, who is also known as Black Moon. He's also co-founded Dark Funeral.
Right.
So Necrophobic on the Dark Sides and Spawned by Evil went a little bit more black metal. Oops.
That's my fault. Moving the mouse.
And other really good Necrophobic albums. Blood Hymns is really good, as is Death to All. There are two really good ones. But they've put out some pretty solid stuff all along. Even their newer output is solid.
The new one's really good. The new one's really good. I only have the new one in the first one, so I don't have anything else to go on. But I thought the new one's really good.
The first one's my favorite, though. Of course, the first one I heard, but man, that's a great record. It's a great record.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it seems to be. It's like one of those cases where I know they've got other albums that are probably decent, but I'm also at that point in my life where I don't need albums that are merely decent. I want to spend my time on albums that I'm really going to get into, not like, that one's all right. I don't need to buy like 5 it's all right necrophobic albums.
Yeah.
But I might find something good if I can, hit the right button in their catalog. We will see. Time will tell.
Time will tell. They'll show up one of these days in the bin, and you'll be like, "Hey."
They are very much a band I would probably pull. If they, someone dumps their necrophobic collection and they're $8 a piece in the used bin, I probably walk out of there spending $40 on necrophobic CDs. All of a sudden, that you are exactly right. I very much would do that.
Hey, Fat Bomb 2338. Good to see ya. Cheers. Okay, I'm up next. This is kind of a cheat because they've only got 2 albums, but we're gonna go with In the Streams of Inferno by Mysticum. I really like this record. Of course, I like industrial music. Not that this is overly industrial, other than the fact they use and don't hide the fact they're using a drum machine. They program it in a very cold and calculated way, which I think really heightens the atmosphere on this record. It's a very cold, void sounding record. And then of course the sounds in the background and, synths here and there. But this record was always high on my list as super original in the Norwegian scene. Their follow-up album, Planet Satan, which took forever for them to get to. It is impressive because they did expand their horizons. They evolved, but their evolution took them in more of a dance techno type inclusion in with the black metal. So you still have those acidic vocals, hissing over type of stuff. So I think it's a really cool album, but whenever I'm in the mood for Mysticum, this here, it kind of embodies the coldness of Norway, and they're pushing the boundaries a little bit, just doing something to make them stand out a bit in a scene that was very much so exploding at the time. But I always really appreciated this album. Always thought it had a really cool atmosphere and kind of stood alone in the Norwegian scene. So for me, In the Streams of Inferno, Mysticum is the one to uphold, I guess is the word I'm looking for. My brain just went completely off the charts there. Anyway, George.
All right. And this one's another one picked, not a metal album, but I picked it because it's one of the first ones I thought of when you guys talking about this, because they've been around forever and they're still putting out, they're still touring. And it's the only album I have except for a early best of, and that's the Rolling Stones, Hackney Diamonds.
Oh, okay.
I know it's a very good album. You can tell it's very touched up though. Mick don't sound like that anymore, but I mean, you guys 82 years old, still doing it. That's amazing. And it's a good album. I mean, I don't know why this one did hit me. I'm not a huge Stones fan. I am a big Beatles fan, but the Stones never really did it. But this album I heard, I'm like, and a lot of people talked about it. I'm like, it really is really good. But the rest of the catalog, which I don't even know how many albums they even have.
Oh Lord,
they gotta have like 30 fucking albums or something. I have no idea. Couldn't even count. I would have, and it's the only one that I like, which is kind of weird, but except for their hits, and this one is really all I need from the Stones. So
you could put them, weird. Aerosmith, and James Taylor, and maybe the Eagles all in the same SpaceX rocket and ship their fucking asses to Mars, and I would be
Marty. That is so not fair.
Wait.
SpaceX rocket would never get close to Mars before it blew up.
Oh no!
You don't like early Aerosmith? Or the attic, rocks, that kind of stuff. I'm just curious. I love that.
I've heard
the later stuff I can do. It's terrible, but the older stuff I like.
I have not heard a whole early Aerosmith album other than hits, and I just don't care. Northern Michigan Rock Radio killed Led Zeppelin. They killed Aerosmith. They killed ZZ Top. They killed a lot of bands for me. Van Halen. They killed Van Halen. I just don't. But then
I get that.
Aerosmith, I did own Done with Mirrors, their comeback album, and it was okay, but it was nothing to write home about. And then they went Disney ballad-esque bullshit.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
forever that band
yep.
sucks for me. Yeah.
Hey Marty, I want to try to sell it to you. What if we took Aerosmith, but we sung it in the Count Chocula voice and sexed it up Ian Rice style? Love in an elevator.
Maybe Sodom needs to, Sodom and Blind Guardian could do covers. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying to find an angle for you.
I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough sell.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. I've been kind of tinkering morbidly with the idea of starting to investigate some of the Rolling Stones early catalog. But so far I've been finding better things to do with my time. But it's probably going to happen someday. I've never liked anything besides a few of their hit songs here and there. And some of their hits I can't stand. I never need to hear Honky Tonk. I never need to hear that Honky Tonk song again in my life. That song, it irritates me.
What about Start Me Up? Start Me Up.
Yeah, Paint It Black is an awesome song. So
yeah, it is a good song.
There might be something in there if I want to spend some time on it. But man, it's just not a priority.
Yep. And the people that like the Stones, they're always like, Wade's saying they have some good music. And I'm sure they do have some good music. I'm being a dink, but still don't care.
It's not your thing.
Not my thing.
Yeah. What I've noticed is
Grateful Dead, same kind of thing. Grateful Dead's like,
I'm not a fan of that shit either. No.
A couple things I like by them too, but otherwise, no. And they've got a ton of albums too, and it's like, no, it doesn't do anything for me at all.
Beatles, don't care about the Beatles.
Grateful Dead. Yeah, the thing I've noticed with Rolling Stones is some of that like early proto LA punk stuff does appeal to me. I'm thinking like Berlin Brats in particular. And Berlin Brats is nothing but the Rolling Stones slightly spread up and slightly snottier. So I'm like, there's a line somewhere there where like, if it's this way, you get on the Berlin Brats side, I was like, that's kind of cool. But if I'm over here on the honky tonk blues woman side of it, it's awful. So that's where I'm kind of like, maybe there's enough of a Rolling Stones that gets close enough to that Berlin Brats line that I would enjoy it. And maybe not. I'm not sure.
Yep. Where are we at here? I'm lost. Alan, I'm still thinking about that rocket going up and watching it go. Good luck on Mars.
Marty's got his fantasy for the evening locked in. Marty, how about we do some German power metal?
Okay.
Well, kind of. Band called Mind Odyssey.
Never heard of this band either.
Never heard of them either.
This, I'm pretty sure this is their debut, called Keep It All Turning. Came out around 93, 94. It's a noise album. They were a noise band. And they released several albums. This was not a one and done thing.
Wow.
This is a kind of cool album. It is not, they don't play fast. There's no speed component here at all. They stick very much to mid-tempo kind of stuff, but the songs are reasonably varied. It doesn't feel like they're just making the same song over and over either. Like a lot of the tunes on this album. It doesn't come off the shelf a ton anymore, but I've owned it for 30 plus years. So, I mean, it's gotten its spins over time. I've never sat down and like really dove through their whole catalog, but the ones I've tried, I've never heard another one that I felt like was up to par. The other Mind Odyssey albums, it's like, I don't know. That's kind of the bottom line is at the end of the day, they're always a pass. Keep It All Turning. Well, it still gets a spin even 3 decades after I first bought it. So yeah, not a particularly well-known band. I was surprised they churned out as many albums as they did. I for a long time thought they were a one and done band on Neat, and then I was like, oh, they made another one, and then there was another one and another, but the other ones just don't seem to quite capture the same style. I don't know if there were lineup changes. Obviously, years went by and music shifted in different directions. But that first Mind Odyssey, Keep It All Turning, that's a cool, overlooked album, kind of late in the noise catalog. Again, it's not a Gamma Ray style band. It's not a Halloween style band. But they're just good.
They never got the U.S. noise treatment. And I was sniffing out the Camelot racks for anything with that noise logo on it. I saw
again,
that
this was too late for that. Yeah.
Sato was in that rack. It looked a little too suspect.
And it was.
Yeah, I didn't buy that, but my radar went off on that one. But yeah, I've never seen that. Never even heard of that.
No, Mind Odyssey was too late for that. It's from that era where, Noise was doing these blue and white CD designs.
Huh.
Lots of the CDs from around 93, 94 had that kind of color scheme to them.
Cool. Oh, I'm up.
You are.
Right. This is another cheat, I think. They only had 2 albums, but man, I love this record. And the second one I didn't care for too much. This is 4th Century with Uncertain Future. This is a thrash band from our friend Eric Bauer's neck of the woods, Seattle, Washington.
Someone was posting about that just in the past day or two.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I don't remember who, but yeah.
Yeah, this is another one we did an album club on, and this record is excellent. It's aggressive. It doesn't really... It's weird them being a Seattle band. They don't really sound like anybody else, which is cool. Doesn't sound Bay Area. Doesn't sound East Coast. Doesn't sound like Southern California. It's just an aggressive thrash record, and their second album, As Above So Below, I think is the name of it. It a little bit more complex. There's a jokey song on the album. I can't remember what. I don't have it up anymore, but yeah, there's not a lot of joking around on this one. This is just an ass whooper from start to finish. Really interesting songs and riffs. They were a 3-piece at the time, so for a power trio, they came out swinging. Yeah, I was always a big time fan of this band, and Pat, Ground Zero Salem Pat, sent me a copy of their tape of the second album, and I just God, it doesn't even sound like the same band to me. So
I think that's what Tycho's commenting on here.
Oh, right on. Yep. They just changed their vibe a bit, but this one here really does rip. Good, great, solid thrash metal from Seattle. George.
All right. This one is technically, it is the first solo album, although he dissolved his first band and this band, and the only album I like it after this is Contreras, Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe, which absolutely love this album. After this, I don't give a shit what he put out. I mean, not that it's horrible, but it just didn't do anything for I bought the one after this, and I thought it'd be the same kind of thing. And it kind of is. It's kind of like this part 2, but not done as well. I think it's a Sinister Urge, I think. But this one's done really well. And it's, the industrial touch, but not my favorite thing, but it really is a really good Halloween album. I pull it out on Halloween all the time. My wife even likes it, which is funny because I didn't like a lot of some of the stuff I listen to, but this one always did it for me. It's really good. Did a good job out of it. He tried to do a part 2, which I don't think was anywhere near as good as this one. I hate when bands do that. Sometimes they part 2 like 20 years later. I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna bomb or whatever. But yeah, so Hellbilly Deluxe.
Boy, that one Rob just never Zombie. Got any coverage on MTV. Oh boy.
Well, he still gets covered on Banger TV.
Yeah.
And Robin is 9 million Spotify subscribers needed Banger to help him promote another Rob Zombie album.
They reached out to us too and said, "Will you please cover the new Rob Zombie album?" And I'm like, no reply at all.
I'm just like with Banger. I'm just like, really, guys? I mean, I guess you need views, but there's a lot of very deserving real heavy metal bands that could have probably benefited from that review slot over Rob Zombie.
Did Rick Thrash cover it? Did Rick Thrash cover it?
No, it was not that Thrash guy. I don't know his name. He's done a couple of reviews for them. He has a foreign accent.
Oh, okay.
He joked it up a lot, way too much in the review. Well done review. But yeah, I just remember things like, guys, it's not like Banger TV is going to give Rob Zombie any kind of bump in sales, but I guess you get a bump in views, so good deal. Blaine can buy another comedy book or something at the end of the month with his cut of the take. I don't know. I was a little disappointed they chose to cover that instead of something quote unquote more metal.
Yeah. All right, you're up.
I'm up. All right. Here is an Italian doom metal band that usually works out really well. And it did on their first album and their demos. And after that, man, something went wrong with this band. I don't know what. They're called Black Oath. This is their debut album called The Third Eon. Now, this is not an older. This is not some 80s, Paul Chain, Death SS era doom. This is a more recent project. This probably came out in the early 2000s. I do not remember off the top of my head. It's extremely well done doom metal. The one thing that's a little odd about it is it does not sound particularly Italian. Italian doom tends to have a lot of character and atmosphere to it, like the bands I named. This one does feel much more conventional in nature. Like, you could put this on and tell somebody this band was from Sweden, and they probably wouldn't think twice about it. But nevertheless, it's still very, very fine stuff. So, liked their demo. First album came out, hit the nail on the head, really great. And they've done several albums since then. I've bought several of them, probably not all, but most. And every other one, I listen to it and I'm just like, this is just dull. Doom is a kind of a hard thing to do right, I think. You can make it too boring. And every other Black Oath album I've heard, it's just like, no, this is just bland. But that one, it is really strong. So this is a band I have tried several times with. I'm done trying with Black Oath. I'm not buying another Black Oath album. It seems to be a band that just, sometimes you can write one great album and after that you just kind of fall into a rut, and sadly it seems to be the case with that band. Never seen anybody talk about them, and maybe that's why. Maybe other folks have the same problem. But do check out the early Black Oath material from Italy if you want just sort of good classic doom metal. Again, just don't expect it to have that quirky Italian roots to it. It really doesn't.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, this next one, this is their debut. This is Sirenia at 6s and 7s. This is gothic metal. And
you had this on Album Club once upon a time.
We did this on Album Club too. And I was just looking at their Bandcamp or their Metal Archives list, and they have 11 freaking albums or 12 albums. I don't know. I've got 2. This one I really like. The second one is they have a lady singing on it, which she sings fine, but it just changed the vibe of it. Here, there's a good mix of growly vocals with some lady vocals and other just pitch style singing. Again, there is a authentic gothic vibe on this. The songs are very well done. They're catchy. I can't remember where these guys are from. They are from Norway. So yeah, there's always a style to this record. I mean, you could tell someone in the band photo probably has one of those see-through fishnet shirts, with a leather coat over the top of it and perfectly cared for hair and stuff, that type of stuff. But maybe, black fingernail polish. That's just this
she wears a corset over her dress.
Yeah, probably.
The drummer braids his beard.
Yeah. Exactly. This is that type of metal, but I really do like this record quite a bit. Catchy as hell. It's one of those I put on and I listen to 3 or 4 times just because it's so damn catchy. But I'm utterly shocked to see that they are... do they still have just the lady singer, Hellbilly, or did they change it up? Because I have an Elixir for Existence as well, and I liked it, I just didn't love it. Man, they put out their last albums in 2023. They've been busy. And they seem to maintain an average of decent comments here. So I don't know.
No, that style definitely has a fan base.
Anyway, yeah, Sirenia at 6s and 7s. I am not at all well versed on their entire catalog, but this is a good record.
Just please don't show that album to my son. That meme needs to die like 6 months ago or 7 months ago.
What do you mean? He likes this type of stuff?
The 6-7 meme.
Oh, no. Holy shit. At 6s and 7s. What year did this come out? This came out in 2022 or 2002.
So,
that was a thing ever even back. I don't know. Whatever. Stupid. No. 6, 7. Anyway, George.
All right. This is the second album from this band, and it's a good album. But if you have this one, and their albums really sound very samey. It is the State of Triumph from Metallurgy.
Oh, dude, this is a band that I purged back in the Maniacs days that I wish I didn't, because they fucking rule. Damn it.
They look like the Blue Man Group going on to space.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Jack Frost is excellent guitar. I like his stuff in Seven Witches better, but the album's really good. I think the other one sounded about the same, but it's a good album. It's good. I mean, it's just their basic power metal, but done really great vocals, great songs. Maybe I should go explore their other stuff more. Don't you
I had a handful
that you wanted back then?
Oh yeah.
I've done that all the time, and I got a lot of the shit back that I purged. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna purge again because I'm gonna kick myself. My wife can purge it when I'm dead.
Right. Back then, I was into the death and black metal and power metal stuff. I'm like, oh, it's all crap, whatever. Too happy, crappy, and I remember a handful of Metallium promos and now I've been checking them out a bit. I'm like, I kind of like this, and I go look up on eBay to buy some. I'm like, what? Apparently, it hasn't been repressed, so I don't know.
Some of that stuff is ridiculous price stuff. I look for certain albums. I'm like, no.
Yep.
$50, $60, $75. I'm still looking for. They don't have a real pressing job. Imperial Doom from Monstrosity. Forget it. They don't have a real, and that's like $300 fucking dollars for a bootleg. It's a bootleg. Why don't they? But who's in charge of that? Can't they? Who's like not reissuing these albums?
Mm-hmm.
Like certainly like that. I'm like, I don't get it, but I'm not in charge of that. But
yeah, and the rest of the Monstrosity catalog has been reissued. Is kind of the weird one too. So that one got left behind, sadly.
Yep.
Yeah. Must be a reason.
I'm looking for that to reissue as well if it ever happens.
Actually, Alan King just on his Facebook page has done a raffle. He's got an OG copy of it. I've got my bid in on it. Hopefully, I win it, because if so, it's yours.
I'll pay a fair price.
You're not paying me shit for it.
I'm not paying, like George was saying, crazy Discogs money for it.
Yeah. But a lot of people are putting in their bids on it, so I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to win this. But anyway,
it's one that
the thought that counts.
No, I appreciate you giving it a shot. Let's see. Nagelfar Vitro was in the chat earlier. I think he and I were talking about this band because I got this not too long ago. I know nothing about the band's discography, but he was interested to know how this one turned out after I played it. And the band is Lake of Tears, a Swedish band that kind of, again, gothic metal, but they've got that Swedish guitar crunch, that kind of Sunlight sound to them. So they're on the heavier end of that spectrum, not the Beauty and the Beast end of the spectrum. And yeah, the verdict of this one is, I thought this was actually really good. I'm glad I picked it up. I had heard the band's name for years. Again, this was the case. It showed up in the cheap bin. As I was like, I still haven't really heard anything about the band, but today's the day I'll find out. This one, in playing it, the band that came to mind was Cemetery, but the Black Vanity Sundown era Cemetery, not Evil Shade of Grade era Cemetery. But yeah, very well done. It's about a 38-minute album, so it does not overstay its welcome. There's one song that's about 7 minutes, but all the others are sticking to the 3, 4 kind of minute range. And so, yeah, it's really good in that 90s Swedish style. It just has a good combination of, the right guitar tone, the kind of heavy atmospherics, but nothing frilly about it, that's distracting whatsoever. So, yeah, and it's funny because based on the cover and, and the font they used for just calling the album Greater Art, this could have been, in that, Frankenberry, Blueberry, Anne Rice, menage a trois we were talking about earlier. This one could have ended up right there. Let me slide in between the two of you. But it doesn't. It's really good. If folks like that later Cemetery material, they'd probably like this. This is the debut, by the way, too, for Lake of Tears. And they've got 10 albums. I had no idea they made so much stuff. So this is a catalog I might need to poke around in some more. And my understanding is they do change sound. I think they go a little bit more towards the gothic, so they probably lose that Sunlight crunch to the guitar pretty quick, which might be a deal breaker. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yes, if it was Nagelfar, maybe it might have been somebody else. It may not have been Nagelfar Vitra that was chatting with me about this one. But yeah, this one turned out really, really good. Blind by that thumbs up, and may cost me more time and money looking for more Lakes of Tears.
I have their third album, A Crimson Cosmos, and
what do you think of it?
It is mushrooms and psychedelic wizards and stoner rock kind of folkiness, kind of a bounciness through some of the songs. Having said that, it's actually quite catchy, and I never purged the album because I did really like it. So it's not really a style I gravitated to often, but that album it's so catchy. Every song's like this unshakable earworm. You can't get away from it. So it's I always figured, I wonder what the earlier shit sounds like. Is it going to be more death doomy? But they certainly navigated themselves away from that. So
you might, again, I don't know what you think of that era of Cemetery by the time they got to like albums 3 and 4, but
I liked it.
Then you'd probably like this Lake of Tears album. Yeah, and Wade's got her back on this too.
Yep.
All right.
You mentioned that Cemetery, the first album. I had that and got rid of it, and I want it back, and now it's another one that's worth big bucks for that. I'm like
$100 or more. Yeah.
Never been repressed.
Why'd I get rid of it?
Yeah, that's a great record. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Black Vanity. No, the album after Godless Beauty. It's more thrashy, but I really like that record too.
It's
a transition album, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
I even like their straight up goth albums too. The Sundown and
Black Vanity is amazing. I love Black Vanity.
Yeah.
Sundown is good, but it feels like Black Vanity Part 2.
Right. All right, I am up next. We're running down here to the wire.
Got time for a couple more. Yep.
Well, let's go to Finland. Man, this band at this time was so great. This is Finland's Disgrace with Grey Misery. This came out on Modern Primitive, and this is complete Finnish guy, young dudes imitating Carcass in their own way. So, I mean, obvious Carcass vibe here, but there's a bit of a Finnish darkness to it. Oh my God, My Dark Paradise. What a great lead-off track. There's pitch shifted vocals on some of it mixed with the higher gravelly vocal style. God, this album just rips. It's so good. And they went completely kind of like the same way Zisma and Zisma. They went completely like alt rock, weird, heavy, grungy, strange. I don't know what would possess them to go that far away from their roots, because this shit ripped. Great. Granted, they're just doing what a lot of bands did back then. They were, trying to steal the essence of Carcass. A lot of bands tried it. Not everybody was as good at it, but these guys were really good at it. And the way the album was produced too, it was clear, but there was a dirtiness to it, but it wasn't unlistenable. It contributed so much to the feel and attack of this record. Great. Check out Grey Misery by Disgrace. After that, they went crazy.
Good. So. Yep. Okay, yeah, it was Nagelfar Vitra. I was chatting with Lake of Tears about. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Marty, one thing, it's interesting, you're right, because a lot of those Finnish bands did very quickly deviate in style. Some of those bands talk about it in that Rotting Ways of Misery book that came out a few years ago. A lot of them mentioned the fact that they were just so young when they got into metal that they hadn't really checked anything else out. And by the time they were doing like their second, third album, like their musical vocabulary had just expanded. They weren't just listening to Nihilist demos anymore. They were listening to all this other like 70s prog rock and experimental stuff that they just kind of wandered off in those directions. So yeah, I think it seems to have been a combination of them being so young starting out and then discovering more music after they had already started down the death metal path, and then kind of realized, wait a minute, maybe we want to try some other things too.
Yep. All right, George.
Oh, this one actually, I bought this one off Darcy a couple years ago, and it's the only one I have by them. But I'm kind of showing this because I hear different things about their other albums. I don't know much about them, but it's one from Evil, Enter the Grave. I heard mixed reviews of some of the other albums, whether they're worth checking out or not. That's why I'm just kind of showing this one. Are you guys familiar with them or no?
I've heard a little bit of their stuff.
I've seen them on the shelves at stores, but I've never checked them out.
Maybe someone in the chat can and maybe recommend other albums to check out that are like this one, because I really like this one. It's really good. But so that was why I showed that one real quick, because it's really good.
Is that,
thrash.
Is that thrashy?
It's thrash. Yeah, it's thrash. It's new school thrash. That whole new sound that they do, but it's done really well. I think this was their first one. If I can read it, see where it came out, but I can't. If I can read this tiny ass print here, 2007, I think it says. So.
Yeah,
even our rules. So there you
go. Yeah, I've heard one or two, and they're exactly what you said. They're new thrash and not bad, but I couldn't even tell you which albums I heard. I'd have to go back and look.
Carl is asking, are they a Japanese band?
No. No. Wait. Get the picture of the band. Here's a picture of the band. There you go. Why? I mean, they don't look Japanese to me.
No.
No, I don't know where they're from. Honestly, I don't know where they're from. Honestly,
I want to say they're UK. I'm checking right now. Yeah, they're a UK band.
English.
Oh, okay.
So Hellbilly
North
says
Yorkshire, England.
All but the latest are pretty damn good, and then Frosty's saying their newer albums are not as good, less thrashy. So
okay.
Yeah, Aqua. Yeah, thanks for confirming, Aqua.
Exactly. Thank you. The chat knows what they like.
The chat keeps us straight.
The chat always knows, unless it involves purple Smurfs. One time, the chat just completely did not have my back.
All right, Papa Smurf, what you got?
Probably a good thing they didn't, because if they had, they'd have bitten me in the backside like a purple Smurf does.
You mean Ganap that fucking show? I remember that. I remember that. God, I'm stupid. I remember that shit.
Oh, here we go. They're already the chat's like, oh God, here we go again.
Useless stuff you have in your head. Useless.
The purple Smurf shirt it's still in my Amazon cart. I just haven't had to order anything from Amazon in the past.
There is now a purple Smurf Allen emoji in the Discord server. Just so you know.
All right. Well, Marty and I both dig this album a lot. The band does not have a very long catalog, considering how long they've been around. I haven't found a second album that really blows me away. They tend to change styles a lot with every album, which makes it a little tricky. It's another Italian entry, Dark Quarter. Mm-hmm. Their debut album here is great epic metal from the 80s. Now, some folks don't get into it. It can be a little amateur sounding. The vocalist is going to be a love it or hate it affair for a lot of folks, but I dig this album a ton. It's fantastic. I tried the follow-up album. The Etruscan Prophecies is a much cleaner sounding album, and somehow they lose some of their charm once you tidy them up. I've tried a couple of their later albums, which again go in very different metal directions. And it's like they're interesting, but I don't know. They didn't really connect with me.
The one I checked out was very grandiose. Very grandiose and symphonic feeling. I don't know.
One of them goes that way. Yeah, they always kind of reinvent themselves, which is cool, but it also means you never know what to expect. And I feel like some of them I may just need to spend, it may be albums you have to sit down and spend more time with to fully absorb what's going on. But yeah, the Dark Quarter, the debut is great for that style. They don't really seem to have another album that's in this style, at least. So if you're going to explore the rest of the Dark Quarter catalog, you're going to have to venture down some different paths. I know some people really dig most of their stuff. I'm still trying to grok anything after this first album. I have warmed up to Etruscan Prophecies a bit over time. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just different enough that I have some trouble with it. So that's my pick this round. Dark Quarter's debut.
All right. Well, we kind of touched on them a bit here on the disgrace poll, but I believe these guys are, also Finnish. Zisma. This is their debut, and again, interesting, fun, heavy death metal sound. It's funny. I listened to the first Amorphous last night too, and God, just so good. They were so good so early on. I wanted another record like that, the Carillion Isthmus. But yeah, this here is a reissue on Vic Records that has the Above the Mind of Morbidity mini LP and a Fata Morgana EP. Morbidity
sounds like those horrible Liberty commercials for insurance.
Liberty. Yeah. This is really killer stuff, and it's really sad that they didn't continue on with this. But they went more alt rock, weird, strange, out there. Like Alan said, I mean, you can't hold a bunch of kids getting together making music. I mean, look at the damn pictures. They're young dudes, dudes making some killer, sick death metal, and you can't really. People change so much over the years. It's the bands that do stick to it. It's kind of impressive that they can and do that, but bands like this were never, I guess, built to go the distance as a brutal death metal band. All right, George, we should probably make this our last round, maybe.
Okay.
Add one more, I guess.
You're probably
I got one more too. They work perfectly. This is actually a Christian metal band. On 98 came out Nuclear Blast, Narnia.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's really good stuff. Very heavy. I mean, not super heavy, but power metalish, but really done well. Good singing. I have other albums out, but not too familiar with them. A couple of them, they're pretty decent, but this one's stood out, and all the songs on it are really good. Can't even know the Christian themes when I started listening to it. Oh, okay, it's more like Christian theme. Not that I don't think it's that, because I listen to anything. So, but yeah, not an album band maybe people don't talk about too much or know too much, but they really are a good band. But that, even if you don't worry about the whole fame about it, just listen to the music. It's a really, really good band, though. Really talented. So that's my final one there, Narnia, Awakening.
All right.
Nice and quick.
Alan.
Let's see. I've got a handful I'll burn through real quick to wrap up with. These next two are kind of fall in the same boat. First off, we have In Eternum's Forever Blasphemy. Just kind of good Swedish scalding black metal. Another one that very much apes the whole dissection look.
And the sound too. I mean,
and the sound,
Sacramentum, all of it,
all of that kind of stuff. But they do it quite well. This is a very solid album.
It is
one. This was a blind buy for me. I saw it advertised in Metal Maniacs, and it just spoke to me for some reason, and it worked out fine. I didn't realize that band had stuck around and put out so many albums. And it's a case where I've sampled one or two of the others. It's like, okay, sounds all right, but. No, I've never heard anything that made me feel like there it is. There's the next In Eternum album to go by. So all these years, it's still the only one sitting on the shelf. Ragnarok. Now, this one was Norwegian. And I have had a couple of other Ragnarok albums, but this one, Diabolical Age, another Maniacs discovery. This one got a review. I don't know who did it, but it was a pretty positive review. Local store got it. Thought it looked cool, and it is. It's a very solid album. I've heard the debut, which has like a long Norwegian, it's like one long word or acronym or something. And it's not bad, but it's not as tight as this one. The album that came out after this one was kind of strange looking. The title, for the first thing is, there's like one of the members is like on the cover holding a gun, which is kind of a little weird vibe. You don't see a ton of black metal albums from that era where they're like brandishing pistols. And there's like a picture of a lady, with like CG, with like bullet holes in her back. It's not gory. It's just like, okay, I guess you shot a woman in the back. And that album didn't really capture the same sound as this one. So I don't know how much more there is in the Ragnarok catalog, but Diabolical Age is mini classic. The other two were okay.
Their drummer passed away last year.
Oh, okay. Did not know that. Different, but Soundgarden for me has always been this album and no other. Bad Motorfinger. I got Super Unknown afterwards and never really got into it much. That Black Hole Sun song can crawl into a sun and die. Please put it on the same rocket that you're launching towards Mars with the Rolling Stones.
Be sure to tie it around Steven Tyler's waist.
There you go. I've tried several Soundgarden albums. The final one they released before they broke up, that was kind of boring. I am warming up to the one before this.
Louder Than Love. I like that one. I like that record.
That's a good one.
That one I'm getting there on. It's another case of where I kept listening to it, wanting to hear something this heavy, and it's not this kind of heavy. Different lineup, different production. But I am getting there with Louder Than Love. But Soundgarden's always been that one. And the last one I'll point out, this is a case where, again, I've heard one other album and didn't care for it, and I haven't checked out the rest. I was very late to Sadis in the first place. This album rips.
Oh, fuck it rips.
I did not care for the most recent one that came out a few years ago.
It was all right.
It was, again, it was all right. I played it a few times, and it has anchored itself to the shelf since then. I mean, there's like barnacles encrusting itself to the shelf. It ain't moving no time soon. I know there's other albums folks talk up, like Swallowed in Black. I just haven't got around to checking them out. And I know there's some albums in the catalog too that don't get good reviews, so it also makes me a little gun shy about, like, if I'm not careful, I'm going to pick the wrong one, and then I'm not going to be impressed. So Sadis is there's only one Sadis on the shelf right now, and maybe eventually there'll be more. But I'm sorry, there's two Sadises on the shelf. One of them is stuck to the shelf. Maybe there'll be a third eventually. We'll see. But that is my stack for the night. So Marty, over to you next. Oh yeah, that's right, Ronnie. They Radical Research did an entire episode picking apart Swallowed in Black.
Is that recent? Because I missed it. I'm gonna have to check.
It's not that recent. Okay, maybe like a year ago recent.
I'm terrible at keeping up with non-YouTube podcasts. I just suck at it. Anyway, I don't know why I picked this band, because this record isn't even that good. But if you're going to buy one, I guess by Norway's Ildjarn, Forest Poetry. You want to talk about a song, every song that sounds exactly the same? Oh boy. I used to have this on two double white 10-inch with a gatefold. I sold it on eBay for a lot of money. Like, wow. People are that obsessed over this crap. But I mean, it's a one-trick pony. It's very punky in the fact that it's this super symphonic or super simplistic, not symphonic. It's not symphonic at all. It's just like you threw a cheese grater in the back of your speaker cabinet and started playing, and it's just rattling around in there. And that's kind of the guitar tone. It sounds like it was recorded on, a Fisher Price tape recorder type of thing. But there's a charm to that, and it's all drum machine. The guy behind it just did not. He knew one drum beat, and he just kind of interchanged it. All the songs are interchangeable. But the split with Nidhogg is also pretty good. But it's just amazing. There's still, I think, Nuclear War Now is putting out a bunch of shirts and reissues of stuff, and people are into it. More power to you, but this is probably, this and that Nidhogg split is the only two things I really need by this band. I've got a couple other things in the CD collection that they just, again, they're attached to the shelf. There's no...
Yeah. I know I've asked you about them, like when I'm out shopping, and be like, hey, is this something I should pick up? And you're always like, not really.
So I don't see, other than a cursory listen, that's probably all you're going to get out of it, all the mileage. But they're not a return to, they don't, their atmosphere is more offensive and destructive than it is, typical Norwegian, which is funny because members of Emperor used to be in this band. So, well, they did. No, that's not true. They did the Thou Shall Suffer.
Oh, okay.
So Isan and Samuth left the Thou Shall Suffer and started Emperor, and the other guy, Ildjarn, started Ildjarn. And you can see where the big talent went to. But
well, there we go.
All right. Well, George, we did it. Great topic, man. Good suggestion. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
As far as I picked what I picked, I wasn't sure if I would be able to pick anything, but it was more than I thought.
Yep. It took me a little while to get going on the stack too, because it's like well, how many are there? But as we've seen, yeah, you can definitely find a decent amount and you start poking around. If you listen to a lot of bands and check out a lot of things over the years, you're going to run into those situations for sure. You can't love every album by every band. It's just not going to work out that way.
No.
Thank you, Living Dead Wax. Everybody go check out Living Dead Wax's channel. He's got a pretty cool channel he's doing over there too. Very, very cool. Peter, when's your channel coming? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yep, Peter's he's been a diehard around these parts for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, and thanks to everyone else in the chat for checking out too, and thanks for folks for helping us fact check some things. As always, you guys absolutely rule.
Absolutely rule. A little reminder: next Friday, again in our Discord server, is bring your Emperor shirt to the party on Friday. So do that, and album notes, show notes. Wednesday's album club is Archgoat, The Light Devouring Darkness. So essentially our first war metal episode by way of Finland, of course. And also check out the Sabbatharium Hour. The boys finally crested 1,000 views. So if you want to check out stuff along the doom, stoner doom, sludge, desert rock style, they ran through quite a few new releases for this year for you to check out, and a few other little odds and ends too. It was a fun show. They're going to be coming back around soonish, I think. There's no preset date. Actually, there is a date. They have something going on. You'll know about it when we know about it. So
it'll come together.
Go check out Mayhem Sunday over on the Shredbeard channel.
Lee here,
Lee, Miss A, and Shredbeard. Yep, they're going to be. Oh, they have a killer show this weekend. They've got a paranormal investigators coming on to talk about all that stuff.
Oh.
So that's going to be a really cool angle, something different.
Yep.
Definitely go check out Mayhem Sundays. It's going to be cool. They always do good stuff, but that's a really interesting one for sure.
Yep. And let's see, another one. A cheers to Jeff over at Mendicant Media. He hit 3,000 subscribers recently and is doing like a contest giveaway type thing to celebrate that. So go check out his video if you're interested. You don't have to make a video to enter. I think all you have to do is like leave a comment in his. He's got a pretty cool prize. I won't say what it is. If you want to know, you got to go check it out yourself. I will be posting a video reply to it on Tuesday because it was kind of a fun little topic for his 3,000 subscription celebration. Cheers to Jeff. We gotta get Jeff back on sometime. It's been a while since he's been on.
Been a hot minute. Yep. And Miss A, thanks for sharing the time. I suck at all the finer details. But yeah, Mayhem Sundays is 8:00. Go check that out. What were you gonna say, George? I'm sorry. What do you got coming up on your channel?
I got tomorrow. I'm going to do 10 bands that don't have a bad album in their catalog.
Ah,
nice.
Kind of the opposite of this.
Yeah, the opposite.
Yeah,
cool.
So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. But yes, I appreciate having me on though. Really do. It's always a fun time. Only because that's so fast too. I was thinking it's been long. It was like it zips right by, and you don't realize how much the time goes. I don't know why work can't go by this fast.
Right, no kidding. It just feels like you're going backwards in time when you're at work. Yeah.
Area 51 scale. That could be a fun outtakes episode sometime. How many bands can we fit on that rocket with Steve Tyler and Keith Richards?
Yep. Yeah, it's Sunday. It's Sunday. Sunday is the Mayhem Sunday episode with the Ghost Hunter / paranormal investigator.
Sunday night, 8:00, Shredbeard channel.
Yep. So we totally botched that promo. Sorry. That's just the way it is. Sorry. But that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time as always. You all rule. Check out Fake Dust's new LP. Right on. Okay, that's it. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Alan. Let's talk metal. Tuesday.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm entering Jeff's contest.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I want to do that one, but I'm not telling people the topic. If they want to know the topic, they either have to wait till Tuesday or just go check out Jeff's original video on Mendicant Media.
There we go. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Cheers. We'll see you next week. Have a great, great weekend.